10 days later. Yeah.
Yeah, we're very reliable with our podcast.
Yeah. Very, very
Welcome to the
predictable.
StreamYard.
Yup. StreamYard's cool by me. We got a
It's the
maybe
Cut Commander and the Jew.
hell yes.
That's the name of the podcast, the Cut Commander and the Jew.
Oh, did you see what I labeled it?
Yeah, Cut Commander. How do you think I just
Well, no,
guessed that?
that's my name. But if you see what I labeled the podcast this episode, in general, Proles on consciousness. I was trying to decide between on or of.
I can't see that. Where is that at?
Um,
Like,
I don't know. It's just the
it's not
title.
here.
Oh, it's in the top corner. If you can see it, do you see it? It's like in the
Hmm.
top corner, maybe.
No, not on my side.
Well, you'll see it when I send you the link when it's done. But
I press this.
oh, I should send you the YouTube link. Then you can pass it out if you want.
It's
Give it a
cold.
watch.
My face is frozen like this now, so it sucks. I look like this from now on.
Well, that's a good look. For
I'm like
listeners.
Emily. I look like Emily. I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm Emily. I'm Emily.
Yeah, I have no idea what
Except for
Emily looks like.
I don't really look that much like Emily.
You got the same color eyes.
Yeah, she's more attractive than me, I think.
I don't know. You lose a bit of attraction when you become such an ugly person on the inside.
Hey, hey, nothing, no need to get. Oh, you met her. I get it.
Yeah, I met her. Like that's the funny thing.
Yeah.
I actually met her in real life, and you know what's crazy? This is not the only
My
one.
laughter comes in later. I can hear it in the background.
It does.
Hear it?
Oh
Yeah,
wait,
and probably you're hearing it.
that's our cute. Uh, our special sponsor for this episode is Kodiak Cakes, 100% whole grain power cakes, flapjack waffle and waffle mix. I don't have a waffle maker, so I made some flapjacks.
Oh,
Also,
I should have got you a waffle maker for Christmas.
that'd be cool. You can always get it for non-Christmas. Seeing
That's
as
true. I guess I
you're a
could.
Jew, you know, you wouldn't celebrate Christmas, so unless you're one of them backward ones.
I celebrated Christmas. I bought one person a lot of presents.
Oh well, I mean, it's not really. You're just not a aesthetic Jew then.
No, I didn't get you anything, but I bought one person here a bunch of presents.
Well, I
I
don't
got my
celebrate.
girlfriend some jewelry.
I don't celebrate Christmas either. Do you
I
have one?
celebrated it. I put up Christmas lights. I put a bunny rabbit in my butt for a while. I think that's Christmassy. Uh,
Like a butt plug rabbit, a rabbit butt
yeah,
plug.
that's
So it's
Christmassy,
like a
right?
bunny tail, and you shove it up your butthole. Those do exist.
And it lit up, like a
Oh, when it vibrated.
yeah.
Hey, have you ever seen those
I didn't
bunny
really
tails?
do that. I didn't really do that sensors.
Yeah.
Although I guess the
Well.
sensors like butt play. They don't mind if
Oh
you play
yeah.
with your
No.
asshole.
In fact, they incentivize and monetize. If you're homosexual, it's more credible.
Oh, all right.
There's this guy. His name's Jud.
I smell a jackpot coming.
I like that.
Jackpot. You know what sucks though? They're gonna switch it back to normal. They're gonna switch
Oh
it back to normal once if we did that.
yeah, right.
They're gonna go and we're back. Straight
And
men and
we're back to traditional style. Our number one demographic is super prude Christians.
yeah, and then they go. Hey, all the homo shows are now purged and canceled.
And they're canceled.
Yep.
We're starting to get in sync. We got this rhythm. Uh, what was I saying? Oh, I celebrate Yule.
Okay.
So the traditional Celtic, also Norwegians technically, and what do you call the ones so the Gaelics, the Celtics, the what's the other ones like up in north, Vikings.
Oh, the Nordics, Vikings.
So if you're not familiar, basically Yule happens. It's a celebration for the winter solstice, and you put greenery, especially holly, around your home to ward off evil spirits. You have a huge pyre fire, like a big giant fire. Um, you know,
So
and
you burn down your house.
well, no, I mean you do it outside, but it's
You
from the
burned a
time when they
dumpster.
didn't really have homes. They had kind of huts, you know,
You burn a Target.
kind of like the European wigwam, if you will. The
Oh, okay.
but the holiday is actually specifically it's celebration of the coming of the new birth of the sun. You get it? The new sun comes. So the Christian
Sun
faith,
comes.
yeah, the Christian faith, when they were taking over in mass, they did what they did best, and they consumed pagan, what they call pagan, rituals, and then turned it into their own thing. So they moved their birthday to Christmas time. So then the birth of the Son of God is the
And we're
same.
back.
And we're back. Fuck tradition, fuck ancestry, fuck heritage, and fuck monetization because I'm gonna say fuck. This podcast
And
is bonkers, ladies and gentlemen.
my girlfriend's mad at me because she'll say like words in a sentence in a series that are detailed and have a communication behind them, and then I go, God, the words, I don't know. Fuck. What's that, anyways?
It's syrup. Do you like to warm your syrup in the microwave? I do.
I love it. One of
Do
my
you ever do?
eyes looks like I'm having a stroke.
I bet
Do I
it
look
is.
like I'm having a stroke?
You look
My
like you
face
got
looks
jaundice.
strokey. I do. I look kind of sick and shit.
I think you got jaundice, bro. Have you been
I
drinking a
think
lot
I
of
just don't
alcohol?
get enough sun. Not enough sun, basically. Is it?
Well, Andy. So, fun fact. Andy told me. So he's coming through. Middle January it seems like. So you should go with him. Come down and visit.
Andy Hartar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Andy Hartar.
Andy Hartar.
Tartar and
You know, when
Tartar.
he comes, it's Andy Hartar sauce.
Yeah. And his sauce is good.
No, I don't know if it's good.
Me neither. Probably tastes like mushrooms and psilocybin.
That's cool.
You know,
Yeah,
he's
we're.
uh he's he's
It's a good
the
man.
he's
He's
he's the
coming down to see
closest
you,
thing to
or
a
just coming down
shaman.
to L.A.
He's coming to LA and
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna
know
do
what
my
was wrong with
best
my
to
eye? It's the opposite eye. This eye is the left eye,
it's probably
and
because you
this
got that
eye is the.
vaccine last week.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably what it is.
I'm not winking, my
The
eyes just got
world's fighting
twitched.
against the vax, man.
Yeah, it's okay to give in now and again. Latest update.
Some of this is happening, and some of that is happening. Lots of debates going on. A lot of
Oh yeah,
numbers and
well,
a lot of division going on, and I'm talking about like 6/5, that kind of division. A lot of dividing,
we should see if
a lot
Vegas
of
will start letting us
statistical
play payouts,
anomalies.
like gambling on the COVID numbers.
Oh shit, we can gamble on that. Over under, the over under.
Yeah. Like we gotta create some options for it. So we'll have death toll's gotta be one of them, obviously, right? Children to adult ratio could be a good one. Because now apparently children are getting sick and stuff, so
You know, in some states it's like a 9/11 every day. That's what they say. When did we start measuring deaths in 9/11s? Did you know the Holocaust was Did you know the Holocaust was 2000 9/11s? Did you know
Have you heard my
9/11 was only one 9/11? That's not very much. It's almost like nobody died that day.
have you heard my
So
Holocaust joke yet?
9/11. No,
Okay, it's my new one, not the old one that's stupid that you fixed.
did
Remember
I
the
what?
blind Jew? I had the one about the blind Nazis, but you did it better. So you're like, see, that's how it's done. This one's better though.
Oh,
It's
no, I
a
just
simple
said no.
joke.
I have not seen one. If anybody asked me if I have seen a Nazi, I'd have to say that I have not seen one.
Not seen none.
For some reason, people always laugh at me.
I
No,
love
no,
it.
I have not seen one. Get it?
I bet it's better than my
I
concept.
basically
The
made your joke dumber, and then people
Yeah, you
like it.
did. And that's why people like it. Yeah. No, this is the new one. It goes like this. It's kind of like I don't know what type of joke this categorized as, but it goes like this. You just say to the audience, you go, "Do you think if Hitler died 2 weeks earlier, then we wouldn't have to oh wait, no wait, I'm sorry. It's do you think if Hitler died 2 years earlier, then we wouldn't have to hear our Jewish friends complain as much?"
Does
And
he die?
that, it's like got a lead in too. It's like, do you think if Jesus died 2 days earlier, then Zeus wouldn't have had his harder time getting followers on TikTok? You know, because Zeus and Jesus is like the same name, and then the joke about Hitler dying 2 years earlier is because if you do the math on the Holocaust, like the deaths per year, 2 years would have been like a couple million Jews saved, like 2 million or something. I don't know, something crazy like that. So it's a funny joke because it's like, it's talking about how Jewish friends and stuff, Jewish, like they complain all the time. It's not a
They
bad
never
thing.
shut up about the damn Holocaust stuff.
Hey, we've got a Russian hacker following our second official comment, and it looks like
Hey,
it is
Russian
definitely.
hacker.
It's another porn link.
Hi.
They put a space between the dot, so
Hello.
uh, that way they don't get in trouble and they can post it.
Hey, Russian faggot. How are you?
Nice to meet you. I have no idea how to pronounce this name because I'm pretty sure those are not English.
Hello, Igor Olamagakinov. It's good to
That
see
was
you.
pretty close. It was pretty close. It's A and then what looks like an HTOH, but I know that that's not what those are because it's like,
Ahato?
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and then B, and then EP, like what looks like a W,
EPMD?
a backwards N, an H, a backwards N, and another H.
Ah,
It's definitely like
well.
Botswana, Russian, or something.
Well, it's good to have someone here. It's fucking cold here, man. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
I think he might be reptilian.
I was taking a lot of trash out, and it's very hard. And then they stopped doing garbage service. There's all this garbage piled up, and then I just went, I'm going to drive to someone else's apartment complex and find a dumpster better.
Dude,
And then I go,
baller.
oh, this one's nice. And then I do, and then I saw people looking at me. I go, hey, what's up? Just dumping out my garbage.
Oh yeah, I just moved in.
I live about a mile away. Is that fine? What difference does it make?
Yo, are they on strike or is it just they're not picking up because of the snow?
I guess it's the snow, but don't they have a fucking giant big garbage truck? Don't they have fucking chains? What the fuck?
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. But
Why
before
are
I
we so
moved to
lame around here?
before I moved to LA, I remember there was that strike in Seattle and the trash was piling up and then people were just like, screw it. So they started just like filling up the restaurants' trash cans.
I agree with that.
I mean, it's what it is.
What are you eating? You're painting your pancakes?
Yeah. Blueberry. I threw a blueberry in the batter this time. I think I like it better because the pancakes cook better. When you put the blueberries on set, like what I was doing is I put the batter on the plate, on the heated pan, and then I would put the blueberries into the pancake as it cooked. It makes
Mm,
it so the blueberries are up top, so when you flip it, they elevate
mm.
it so it doesn't cook as well. So now I mix it in the batter, so when you pour it out, it just cooks almost better like that.
Much respect. Much respect.
Yeah, you want to see the look at pretty good.
I ordered some food on the grocery delivery system, and now I think they're about to do it.
Instacart.
Yeah. Oh, she sent me
Is
a
it Instacart?
message. It says she sent me a message.
Mhm.
I had them slice the bread for you.
Well, that was
And I'm
nice of
like,
her.
I was like, thank
But
you,
I'd
slave.
prefer to eat a whole loaf at once.
I go, thank you, slave. Appreciate. Oh, that's not nice. That's just wrong.
That's not too bad.
I didn't say that.
Your face froze again. It's probably because you're checking your messages, huh?
Yep.
Oh,
Sorry.
I was no, you're good. Don't no need to apologize. Well, actually, you know what? Mama Susan is very disappointed in you, Casey.
Oh yeah.
Man, I
Sorry.
miss classics. I want to go back to classic cigarettes.
Sorry about interfering with the whole implementation of the totalitarian state.
Yeah, we apologize. We apologize entirely. Hey, do you think that they understand sarcasm? I don't think they do. So we could play along, but not really, and just be really sarcastic.
Do you like Elon Musk?
I don't know if he's sarcastic. I think he's what do you call it? Well, he said he's autistic, but I was gonna say he's just what's it called, eccentric or eclectic.
He's a filthy, dirty rich.
And he's also single again. Apparently, he's separated from who was he with? What was her name? It wasn't Lord, was it? It was one of those weird off-brand pop stars.
Oh
He
shit, I
was
didn't
with.
know that. He's a good. He
Yeah,
likes
yeah.
hot.
It was
He
with
likes
her.
hot pussy tang. He likes
Yeah,
just.
probably. But I
He
think
likes
he's
to get
also
in that.
strange. Like he himself is strange. So after a while, he probably is like, you know, I don't know. I think he's strange. Like
He's a little offbeat, but he's fucking cool.
I feel like
I,
yeah, no, I
I
think
just
so
listened to
too.
an
But I
interview
feel
with
like
him,
he's
and I go. It reminded me that when you ever hear someone who's criticized in the media a lot, and then when you see them interviewed, they're always like 10 times cooler because all the people criticizing are sick, venal, stupid people. So
unless you
and then
tell
you
me
find yourself, you realize that you'll find out later that you go, have I listened to more articles about Kanye West or Kanye West speak? And you go, naturally, if you listen to more people talk about Kanye West, that means you also are a moron. So it'd be better to go listen to the interview first of him talking, then make sure your ratio of listening to a person, you know, what I mean?
I do agree. I do that like so I like that like too, especially if it's like because most columnists these days are not actual journalists too. They're total hacksaws. So like they just chop things apart and make it for their own glory and clickbaiting. So like it's better to actually go watch what they're commenting about because otherwise you don't get a full perspective of it at all. So like same
Yeah,
thing with everything.
I like Elon Musk though because he participates in it. He'll
Well, I
send
was
out
gonna
a little
say,
tweets.
unless you
I
catch
like
him
that
on a
part.
stressful day, like Joe Rogan, when he interviewed him, he was a little bit off because it was like when he was going through a period of his life where he was dealing with a lot of stuff in the like. So I think he wasn't all there. You know what I mean? It's
No, I
just
never watched those
autistic. I
interviews.
relate
I should
because
check those out. I never watched those.
I didn't watch the thing either. I watched a different one, and the guy was explaining it to Joe. He's like, "Yeah, you just got Elon on a bad day. You can tell because he was doing." And then the guy was like talking. I forget which interview it was. I don't really watch them.
I listened to him today be interviewed by the Babylon Bee guys.
Who? Babylon?
Babylon Bee?
Is that's the name of the like show, right? Babylon?
No, it's a Babylon Bee. It's like a little it's like a satirical website that makes fun of local kind of like the Onion.
Do they spell it Babylon like the biblical sense, like that
Yeah,
word, or do
Babylon,
they
the
spell it like
Babylon
Babel?
Bee. Yeah,
Okay,
the
yeah, cuz
Babylon Bee.
I
Yeah, they're
always
good.
like when you do babble like babble. That's what that I didn't like make it into a fully fledged joke, but I think other people do it too, but I like when it's like when you talk about someone babbling, like you know
Oh,
what
I
I mean?
see.
I have a tendency
No,
to
it's like the
babble.
Babylon Bee.
Yeah. Like, "Oh, I
They
babble
they
on."
they do like memes and stuff. They make fun of all the dumb bullshit going on.
So what did they say with Elon? They interviewed him?
Yeah, there's like three guys that interviewed him. They think he's hella cool and shit.
I
They
don't
asked him a
mind
bunch
him.
of
I
fun.
mean,
They asked him a bunch of funny questions.
oh, that sounds right because they're like the Onion, so they would ask him like silly questions for sure.
Oh no, they asked him real questions. They're asking him like, what would it be like if you went to do your taxes at H&R Block? You know what I mean?
That
Like you're like
that's good. It's goofy, but it's a serious question. I understand.
because recently Elizabeth Warren, you remember that dumb bitch who ran for president?
Actually,
One
I
of the
remember going to her what do you call it when there's a large gathering of idiots in the park in downtown Seattle? Uh oh
oh
yeah,
rally or
campaign rally.
yeah campaign rally.
I went to her campaign rally, so I actually technically met her.
Oh yeah, she
You know what I
sucks.
say? I technically met her. How that works, right?
Oh, you got
There's
to
no
shake
way
her
I
hand or
was
something?
paying money like the amount of money people paid to get in that line.
Oh, so you didn't meet her?
Well, no, I technically met her because I stood on the other side of the line. So I was like literally, and until someone approached me and they're like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, you know, I'm just waiting for a handshake. And they're like, you have to pay for the da da da. I'm like, oh, I thought she was all about pores.
She's just dumb.
So like,
she
what were you saying?
she called him a freeloader and said he didn't pay his zero taxes. And he was like, actually, this year I paid more taxes than any individual person's ever paid in taxes, like in the history of the world. I paid the most taxes of anyone.
You know what's interesting?
And then he goes, actually, Elizabeth Warren's entire salary is paid by the taxpayer. She doesn't pay any taxes. All government,
Yeah,
no one in government, they're all paid for. So they.
you just took the words out of my mouth. That's what I was thinking too. That's so silly. Like, and he
And
took
then
out
he called her
primaries.
Senator. And then he called her Senator Karen. It was really
Senator
funny.
Karen, have you seen what she looks like? 100.
I have
Her
seen what she
haircut
looks
is
like. Yeah.
100%. That's that's one of Kate McKinnon's go-tos. So Kate McKinnon, like she when she does her impressions, she does Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, that's nice. She's wacky. I like her.
I don't mind her. Kate McKinnon, there was like I don't know if it's true. It's never been like official, but there was like a rumor, if you will, that her and Leslie Jones were dating
Oh,
because
that
they're
sounds good.
lesbian. But I guess like Kate McKinnon's kind of like maybe 20% straight, so she's more lesbian or whatever. I don't know how it works, but I think Leslie Jones apparently was like experimental or something. I don't know.
And a friend of mine calling me. I don't like him calling me.
Yeah, tell him to get on the podcast. Come on now. Yeah.
Nah, no, thank you. He's weird.
Yeah. Well.
He's always trying to get me to join his church.
Oh, it's that one? Man, have you heard about this guy? His name is Jesus. Let me tell you about this guy. He was a freeloader. But he was
Yeah, but then
also
he
an
got
effective
he got the vaccine, and then he said, "Oh, the vaccine," and I go, "Okay, well, Pfizer number one, God number two. So in your rankings, Pfizer one, God two, right?" And he goes, "No,
Oh
don't
yeah,
you
because
say that?" And I go, "Well, God told you to get the vaccine, right?" I go, "God would never tell you to get the vaccine."
well, yeah, I mean
So
that's the fun thing. So did you know that? You obviously know that. You're educated. But that's a whole thing. Like it's called a what is it called? A religious exemption. There's
yes,
like different.
They-
There's medical exemption and there's religious exemption. I want to get a religious exemption, but I want to claim it like my own religion. That's like
I
not
want to
like
go fuck yourself exemption.
yeah, but
And
that's our religion now. Let's call it go fuck yourself. That's our religion.
no, there shouldn't have to be any reason for the exemption. I go, quit lying, quit lying.
There's a reason. It's
Actually,
called
everyone can get a religious exemption. Actually, every single person should be able to get in a religious exemption. Why wouldn't they? I read the Bible. Bible said, "Thou shalt not lie" and all that shit. So the lying is out. So no
you
lying.
know what's
So there you
funny?
go. We're in.
If you read like I actually find the Bible quite entertaining as far as a storybook goes because there's a lot of cool shit like especially in the original chapters like there's hookers and there's war and there's bloodshed and there's like slaughter and like all this awesome stuff but like it's a very common thing where basically a city that is devised around the religion then the preachers get corrupt and then they're basically worshiping false idols and all this other shit. So then the god gets angry, and the god's like tells one random stranger that's like super broke and like just like a poor wanderer. It's like you are one of the chosen ones. You need to go into the city, and then there will be a bunch of people you will see on a hill, and those people will come in and murder everybody, women and children, and destroy the temples. But they won't kill the people who know not. And so it's like I'm just laughing because I'm like, that's great, don't you think?
That does sound great.
Yeah, I mean, like, who's to say that doesn't make perfect sense? I mean, why not? Like, the
I got
god
a
gets
Christmas
angry.
card.
I mean, that was my whole thing. I think the problem is the god had a child. What's that?
Christmas
Christmas
card
card. I got Christmas
for this
cards.
lady I know who ran for. She ran for Olympia City Council to try to clean up the homeless problem.
Oh,
I think
we
she
got
likes me.
homelessness
She wants to.
problem.
She's like 60, and yeah, there's like every other person in Olympia is homeless.
Oh, that for some. Oh yeah, that made me think of Caitlyn Jenner because Caitlyn Jenner was running in L.A. And Caitlyn Jenner, one of the big things that Caitlyn Jenner was doing was campaign against the homelessness.
Oh yeah, the lady
But
with a dick. Huh?
well, yeah, but then that
I
actually
saw
led
your
to
Ty Rivera guy talking about comedy the other day.
Oh yeah,
The
Ty's
guy you
great.
like?
In fact, Ty's currently live right now doing something. I think he's doing his Unbothered podcast.
Oh, nice. He seems like a cool guy.
He's pretty informative. Like, I don't know how old he is, but I'm pretty sure he's like 40.
He was talking about how to make a good video to get submit to
Yeah,
comedy shows.
it's so he has a segment he does, and it's like, yeah, it's helping other comics out. It's a really
He says
smart one.
people send him the wrong video. They send him like 2.5 minute long, and then he has to send it to someone, and then they're like all upset. And he's like, just
Yep,
do the right video.
yep. He's like, you can't promote with this shit.
Mm.
I think you have actually some high quality footage of people laughing and a good audience. I think you could totally like go on tour if you really wanted to. You know, I was talking about you the other day because I was so this for my roast to prepare for the roast. Oh yeah, that could be a segment this week in comedy. So this week in comedy I was on a roast, which you know about cuz you helped me with the
Yeah.
jokes. So this guy Tom, I call him Tommy Boy cuz it's funnier. Him and Adam run this place called Accidental Chaos in LA, and he was helping me with my jokes, and I told him about you. And I was like talking about how great you are. I was like, if you came down to LA, I think you'd do really well because Seattle's kind of stagnant. And he was smiling. He's like, yeah, I could see that. Because we were kind of talking about how there aren't too many comics that are like unafraid.
All right.
And I feel like you are a good example of a comic that's been around long enough to be like, I'm done with a lot of this. And then at the same time, you're intelligent and your takes are actually I don't know if it's like fair or not, but I feel like creatively original. So it's like the take is kind of like kind of like if Lenny Bruce were alive now, how he would be talking about things, if that makes sense.
There's this bitch here. You remember Sarah?
Silverman,
No, this bitch. Remember Sarah? She was like a poet
Grimes,
at her bike. She did the
Grimy,
poetry.
yeah, Grimy,
Yeah, Sarah Grimes.
yeah.
She told Andy told me she was talking to him, and she said that one of our comedians in our circle is a hack. I think. And of course, I'm always sensitive. I'm like, well, she just called me a hack because we were having a feud. And then Andy was like, no matter how mad someone is at you, they can't call you a hack because your jokes are like about fucking. You got a joke about fucking uh, senior gay pornography and fucking all this other shit. Like my jokes are never like. She's talking about Mike Parker.
Oh really? I was gonna say Robbie Schrodinger.
Robbie Schrodinger.
Yeah,
Whatever. He's
a
he's not
comedian.
hack. He does some weird original shit.
No, well, he does have some original stuff, but a majority of his stuff is like intentional hack.
He's a total cunt now. He got the fucking booking at the Flying Boots, and then I went to have dinner with him and Jason the other day because I hadn't seen him.
McBride?
Yeah, and then we ate, and they're just talking about who he's gonna book. He's really into it now. He's like, "Oh, I'm the big booker now." And then everyone he books sucks. Every single person he says is his feature is like everyone. It's like a who's who of who sucks. You know what I mean? Because he's like, I got to get my fourth transgender, and then my sixth Asian club-footed comic, and then I got to get my fucking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. And also, it's not like there's a lot of options in the actual local Washington scene at all.
Oh no, he gets people from around other towns.
As soon as Andy leaves, it's gonna be like you and maybe two other comics I can think of that are actually like truly like very like, and one of them is McBride, and he'll never fucking get the confidence he needs because he's too afraid to even leave Seattle.
Yeah, he doesn't do shit.
Dude,
Actually,
literally his cynicism and his self-hatred levels, but his actual material is good enough that he would literally, I know he would do well. If you know what I'm saying, like that's why you kind of don't like him, because he's so annoyingly cynical on himself or whatever. And I agree. Like I think he's way too hard on himself considering how funny his material actually is. Like He's one of the few people that I've actually wanted to steal their material because I'm like, he's never gonna actually use this shit outside of literally like where was it? Garage parking lots.
Hey man, those people need to be entertained too.
Dude, because you know what I'm saying. Like Jason's material is actually very funny. I think. Well, not all of it, but most of it.
We're being recorded now, so we got to watch what we say.
I don't care. I'm
forgot-
not actually taking it. I said he's one of the people that I'm tempted to.
I forgot you can't talk shit now because people are listening now.
Oh God, yeah. Whoever.
Yeah, Ashbot, fuck, my fuck.
Yeah.
Tang, tang, tang.
Oh,
No, you're fine. There's some good comics here.
So before I forget what I named this thing, because you know how we always talk about how we're basically living in 1984 now. Do you remember the book? You remember the book at all?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you remember the term Proles,
Huh?
so there's the term Proles, like it's a term for the type of people. There's
The proletariat.
I think that's like conceptually what it's based off a little bit, yeah. But it's
They call them the proles. The proles, as in short for proletariat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's devised from that. But the Proles are like what Winston is. Like they're the ones that like Winston.
No, Winston was not the proletariat. He wanted to hang out with the proletariat. He was in the he was in the support class. He was in the like the bureaucracy. He was like a guy who worked at Google.
Yeah, but what I was getting
and the proles are like the ones who fucking do the dishes and fucking all the, you know what I mean, the bottom.
Yeah, they're the people that buy the scratch tickets. And
yes,
they're the people that watch the sports and
yeah.
And they
believe everything. They read the news. They believe everything. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. But then there's the ones that are like the hardcores, and they watch Telescreen nonstop. They're like obsessed with the Telescreen, and they like to shout at the Telescreen everything. And then he's saying that the Proles are the ones that have potential because if they actually organized and realized how much strength they had, they could overthrow the government. He's basically like what Winston says is if the Proles gained consciousness of how powerful they are. So that's why I named it. I named this one. I go Proles of consciousness. And it's funny because when we abbreviate it, it's POC. Proles of consciousness, POC, the podcast. People will be like tuning in. Oh, cool. POC, the podcast. What the fuck are these? These are two white dudes.
Aren't you half Greek?
Me? No, I'm Irish, Scottish, and then Muslim on my dad's side. My dad's side is.
I'm mostly Jewish.
Oh, I mean, technically, yeah, but Jewish is a faith, not a race.
Oh, you don't like Jews?
Not Jewish is a faith, not a race.
Didn't you say the Holocaust didn't happen one time? Weren't you one of those?
I did what's called yes and with what you said because per our agreement, I will always agree with everything you say.
You're a Holocaust denier, right?
According to you and according to this podcast, yes. And I mean, why not? Sure. I mean, I never was there, so there's no evidence that it ever happened.
Right.
You know, history is only written down by the winners and stuff. So
right. If Hitler would have won, he would have said we didn't kill anybody.
I mean, I don't know if he would have had to say anything at all. No, yeah, but I think at the same time, it's kind of one of those things. Like, if Stalin had won, right? How would Stalin have wrote the history, and he would have made Eisenhower and whoever else was our president at the time look like a total tyrannical person because what we did was so terrible as well. Like, in general, there's never been a nation that politely walked in and won a war. Like, there's never been a nation that was like, oh, let's just go take over a country politely by asking them nicely.
That's true.
Hello. If it's cool with you, we would like to take all your natural resources now. If it's okay with you, also, we would like to basically have you do everything we say. Is that cool?
Sounds good to me. Fuck it. Join.
You know?
I don't know,
I
man.
mean,
I don't know about any of that stuff anymore.
well, let's take it to a home base, okay? Did they ever just try and ask the natives, like, hey, you know what? We really like this land. Is it cool? We want to name it America, and we want to, destroy it if that's cool with you.
Right.
Instead, they were like, oh, we have these things called guns. You haven't heard of them. You have things called bows and arrows. Good luck with your sticks and spears.
And a lot less of you. And a lot less of you.
Oh, by the way, we brought these things over from Spain that we've been cultivating in Europe. They're called horses.
Yep.
They allow us to go much faster than you on your feet. You know, the only
That's a
time
good
the
point.
natives started winning against the American invading force, like what they call them at the time, the Navy or whatever, or the what did they call them? I forget. Like the cavalry and stuff like that, was when the
Yeah.
natives started actually acquiring rifles and horses. So they basically were like, "Oh, okay, well, let's get these things and let's use these things." Same thing with skinning. Natives were not skinning people until the white people that came over. Well, I shouldn't say they were all white. I don't think they were, but the people that came over, they were doing it first because in Europe, skinning was a popular practice, specifically also in Spain. Spain, I think, doesn't get a lot of coverage for how gruesome they were historically. We should have more hate toward the Spanish, I think.
You want to add some hate to the Spanish?
Yeah, I mean, the Mexicans, we got it all wrong. They're just the product of rape. It's the Spanish.
We got it all wrong, all right.
I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly frank here. The Spanish Inquisition did not sound like a hoot and holler and good time.
Well, they kept it real back then.
Oh yeah, I really like the one where they put a glass rod into your penis and then smashed it with a hammer. That sounded like a really good time.
Humans are special creatures.
Yeah, who seem to be very good at hurting other humans.
We are. That's our specialty.
I mean, it's pretty damn close. Have you ever heard about that?
A rat. In LA, they got a lot of rats, probably,
I've seen a few rats since I've been
And
here.
rats are disgusting. They'll sleep in garbage. They'll fucking do, but the rat will not fuck another rat.
Yeah,
It wouldn't even cross the rat. It wasn't even cross the rat's mind. Only human beings would think to do something that repugnant.
Yeah,
They'll fuck another human.
That was the Bill Hicks thing you said last time.
They won't fuck a dead rat.
Right? Was it Bill Hicks or George Carlin that said that?
George Carlin.
Yeah.
Sounds like something Bill Hicks would say, though. Yeah.
I like Bill Hicks when he goes after marketing people.
Oh yeah, he doesn't care for them.
I really didn't like when I grew up. I just enjoyed him and stuff, but a lot of times I enjoyed it when other people would laugh and stuff, like the audience and stuff. And if I didn't get the joke, I'd be like, "Oh, this is funny," but I didn't get the joke. But now, as like an adult and stuff or whatever, I start to get more of it. Like as I enter LA and I start seeing how LA is, especially in the comedy world and such. And then I realized, oh, this is the shit that he was really like saying about Jay Leno. Was like how Jay Leno. It wasn't so much that he was on the Tonight Show. It was more when Leno started selling products that he never used or whatever.
Yeah, he sold Doritos
and Pepsi Cola.
Yeah, but we would love to you'd love to get your little scrawny ass on a Doritos ad, though, I bet, wouldn't you?
I mean, I don't. I mean, my sponsors are usually things that I use, and I am not. The only Doritos I really enjoy these days is just the Doritos Locos Tacos.
Yeah, but you like cash money, so you like cash monies.
I mean, yeah, but
cash dollarone.
Doritos wants to give me money,
and we're back. We are back. I like our sponsor today, the cakes. What is it? Zodiac cakes?
Oh yeah, Kodiak cakes. They're really tasty. Kodiak.
I got some. Oh, I got some of these. These are raspberry licorices. Brought to you by Panda Raspberry Licorice.
Yeah, well, you have to.
They make your pee. They make your pee. They make your pee look red, like you got.
Like you were enjoying cottage cheese just a second ago.
I was enjoying cottage cheese.
So you got to be like, whatever product brand it is, cottage.
Dairy Gold cottage cheese.
Yeah, and then
if you're a white guy and you like cottage cheese and you're old, you like things that digest easily. I say go down and get yourself a pint. Get yourself a pint of Dairy Gold cottage cheese.
Yeah.
And put some sliced pears on top, and especially in the light syrup, because it's quite. See that sugary syrup, normal sugary syrup, no good. This is light syrup. See right here?
Yeah.
Sliced pears.
It's pear juice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like. My favorite is pineapple and cottage cheese.
Oh, me too. But I like to switch it up and do it pears once in a while.
Yeah.
Pineapple is my favorite as well, but it gets a little monotonous. So once in a while, you switch it up.
Well, and seasonal.
See my cat? Say hi to the podcast. Don't run away. You ran away. What are you doing? What are you, shy or something? Everybody should be on TV. Get up there, bitch. I call my animal names. I call him little bitch. And then my girlfriend's like, why do you do that? And I go, because he fucking doesn't understand English. That's why he does. It means nothing to him. I can call him anything I want.
Well, my question is, it's not.
Isn't that right? There. Say hi to Jay. That's it. Say hi to the cuck. Say hi to the cuck commander. You can tell him what to do because he's the cuck commander.
I'm the commander of the cucks.
Why do you got to demean yourself by calling yourself a cuck?
Because according to YouTube, it's soft hate language. So I want to take it back.
It is.
Like literally. If I was monetized, I can't say the word cuck. Well, I can say it, but then they would take away the monetization for the video.
Just tell them to suck on your balls and nuts and lick up your butthole.
That wouldn't be very cuck-like of me.
Yeah, that's true. It wouldn't. Maybe you are a cuck.
To suck on your balls and then let me watch.
Right.
That would be very
right.
Right, Cook Commander. It's a power move.
I will help you lead this podcast to no success at all. That's what I'm here for.
Idea. I mean,
no success.
People are loving.
So who are we gonna have on as a guest today? We got to start calling people.
I hit up Kenneth Lyon. Or
Kenneth Lyon? Nah, man, we got to get someone like an enemy. People love to see feuds.
Well, Kenneth Lyon is the epitome of enemy.
No, he's not. You love that guy.
Dude, he has so many self-appointed enemies of LA.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun to call him and ask him what he thinks of certain people and just have him shit all over them.
Have them on and
we could have a hate fest. We could have a hate festival. A festival of hate.
I mean, technically, if you come to town, you and Andy, we could do that.
I don't think I'm a very good podcaster, personally.
I had a dream.
What can we do to get a bunch of people to watch? There's people here at shows because they like this, they do this a lot. They're like, I'm having a big extravaganza show at the theater down in Renton. And then I go down there and then I go, oh, look, 8 people came. And I go, how about you have to know where you're at in the business. You go, I'm having a show and I'll give you $75 if you attend. And then, oh my God, I have a packed crowd. But did you know that if I offered people $10 to come to my show, that I would get like 14 people to come? Because $10.
$140, that's not that bad out of pocket.
Yeah, but I need to pack the crowd. I have to offer $100 for so I have to pay. And then I have to have security guards that make it so you can't leave, or else I pay them after the show's over.
We got another comment. Yeah, it's
oh cool. What we get?
Adolf. It literally, the
Who?
name is Adolfu.
Adolf.
Yeah,
Hello, Adolf.
Adelfu, and the last name is Mirelle. Adolfu.
Adolf Merley.
Yeah, we got Adolf Merley. It's a
Hey,
close
buddy.
relative of Hitler.
What do you have to say for yourself, sir?
Oh, another porn link.
Porn link.
Yeah, we've got people posting porn links in our comments forum. At least we've got.
You can't have porn on YouTube.
I mean, they're links, but they put a space so that way.
I know, but I mean, we're not allowed to have a porn website if we wanted to do a porn show.
I'm not interested. It'd be OnlyFans at that point.
You're not interested in porn?
I mean, I'm interested in being like, I don't mind like having sex with a porn star, like a girl that does porn. Yes, I wouldn't mind at all.
Oh, you like to have sex with people? How
yeah,
profound!
Yeah. I mean, I have
how
endurance.
profound!
Like
how profound!
How profound of me, and I have.
It's amazing.
So my endurance is through the roof, and that's like the only thing that they want. Like, according to the latest porn star that I was hanging out with at a show. That is the one pleasant thing I'll say. You do not.
A lot of porn stars down there.
Workers showing up to comedy events in Seattle, but in LA, it's actually common stance to have strippers and porn stars.
Nice.
So, I think because there's a lot more per capita here. And also, I think the strippers in Seattle think they're too good for local Seattle comedy.
I watched a lot of porn, I'll tell you that. Over my day.
Yeah. Do you know,
It's wrong.
I don't know.
It's bad for you, too. It's bad for you.
Well, they do.
You know when I watch porn? I watch porn when I'm really sad.
Guys, I have comedy. I just wrote some jokes about that. I said, I'm at the point in my depression where I can no longer watch porn and get off. Allow me to explain myself better. What I mean is, every time I turn the porn on, all I want to do is ask her how her day was, or
nice. Sweet.
What happened to you? Why did you end up this way? And then the third part, like the real punchline, is like, you know, dad doesn't hate you that much just because he's not your real dad. Because, you know, stepfather and stepmother porn is like popular.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's a pretty silly joke. Like, I like it because it's funny. It's like, when you say you can't get off at porn, people just think like you can't masturbate. But then the joke is actually like that you want to be like all nice to them, and like you're like you'd rather just be cuddling than having like, because it's all about fantasies.
Yeah. They're little fallen angels. They're little fallen angels.
Sure. Mama's little broken girl.
You know, you see her getting butt stuffed. You know, like you watch the movie and she's getting butt stuffed or triple stuffed.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little boy. I'm giggling.
Oreo to me.
No, you know, like, and then they're getting all three holes. You know, like the mouth and the
Oreo.
Yeah, and but then when you meet him in person, it's like, hey, can you make a Denver omelet? You know, and then you know they just make you some toast and an omelet. You know.
Well, that's one of the. I used to use that line a little bit when I was in college. It's a classic line. You go like this to the girl.
The Denver omelet line?
Yeah, you know what? Like where you go to the girl at the bar and you ask her, "Do you know the ingredients to a Denver omelet?" And then usually she'll say no. Either you go, "I can teach you tomorrow morning."
Right, but yeah, you could also go, "Hey, do you know the ingredients to Denver omelet?" And she says no, and you go, "That's because you're a dumb porn star, you bitch." You know what I mean? She doesn't even know how to make a Denver omelet. So fucking dumb. No, there's a lot of very intelligent porn stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're very intelligent.
Yeah.
And whores.
I mean, look.
We're all fallen angels now, you know.
It's a job. It's literally a job. It's quite literally a job. Like,
well, yeah.
Anyone doesn't realize that it's a job and they are acting. They're just not that talented.
Who cares?
At the acting side of the acting, but they're very talented.
You know what they're acting like? Do you know what the big secret about that one is? They're acting as though it's work. Well, because they're really doing something they like to do. They really do.
Been on a porn set. Like, have you ever watched how they're made?
Yeah, I was in one time.
So then you know it is actually work. It takes hours and hours to do just one like 5 to 15 minute thing. Like literally, there's a reason why they have things like what's it called, a buffer or a fluffer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the truth of it. It actually is a fucking job. Like these girls have to have sex, but they have to have it a lot, not just like recreationally, oh, this is a fun time. It's like they have to literally have sex
I'm not into
and then
feminism, so I don't. I'm not into that.
they might not be able, like the guy who's filming, or girl, the film person, the director of film photography or whatever, will be like, oh, we need to shoot this again from this angle, that one was not working. So then they have to literally do the exact same scene again, and they might have to do the scene again.
The director, Phil Mike Hunt.
Yeah, I mean that's one of them.
That's his name, Phil Mike Hunt. His middle name is Mike, and his last name is Hunt.
Yeah,
Phil Mike Hunt.
that's actually a Seattle celebrity. Did you know?
I know. I met him. I used to work with him.
Really? He's actually pretty
Yeah.
chill. I met him too. He used to hang out
Oh,
downtown
you did?
Seattle a lot at Pioneer Square. I met him when I was like
Look at
10.
the fucking high quality of douchebag that we both know.
Oh, quite
You know what I mean?
literally. I met him when I was like literally a minor, and I was like hanging out with him.
A
and
coal miner?
smoking
Were
weed.
you're mining coal?
No, like a legit
Coal.
underage child having fun with hanging out with him smoking weed.
Nice.
Yeah, but I told him like straight up, like, dude, I love your public access. Because it was still in the era when you didn't have like you still had to download fucking your porno pictures, and the videos took even longer.
Yeah,
So his era, like what he was doing on public access, was a beautiful thing.
it was, man.
Do you remember what used to be back to back with him though?
I just remember him going, everybody needs to fuck more, dude. Everyone needs to smoke weed and just fuck each other
Yeah, and then
right
he
up the
literally was
butts.
smoking weed and then cutting
Yeah.
a porn tape.
I worked with him at a restaurant called Palisades out in
I don't.
Magnolia, where the boats are.
Mhm.
It was a fucking fancy place because it had like streams with the lobsters
Mhm.
inside the restaurant, like a little creek and a little bridge.
Yeah, I remember.
And you know how I got that job, man? It was the best job interview line ever, because they had us in an interview where it was like 8 people at the same time, and you never met them, so it's already stressful, right, to be interviewed. You can get nervous, right? So now there's all these other people trying to get a job, and we're all in a circle, and they're asking everybody like, so they were like, what happened to your last job? And some people were like, oh yeah, I got in an argument with like shit that's immediately not going to get them hired. Don't tell them about no fucking argument you got with your manager. Dumb shit. And then they get to why do you want this job? And someone's like, well, I got a part-time thing right now, and then the hours would fit, and blah blah blah. You don't tell them that you need a job. That's not why you want the job. Everybody needs. They got to me, and I went, I want to work here because this place is fucking gorgeous. This is the most beautiful place I've ever seen, and I just want to like be involved in this place. And then I remember they usually wait to call you, and then they did a little meeting, and they came back, and they were like, you're hired. And I remember I was like so happy and everything. And anyway, Mike, his name was Mike Alvaz. His last name, Alvaz.
His real.
And then yeah, he's like long hair dude. I just remember one time I was downtown, might have been like a year or two later, and I saw him, and he was like, hey man, what's up, dude? And I was like, hey man, I haven't seen you in a while, what's up? And then he goes, you want to smoke some weed? And then he goes, let's go in the alley. And then I was like, back in the day when going in the alley was like dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, like 97.
Oh, yeah. I mean, shit, dude. Back then, smoking weed was hella criminal, even.
Yeah, so we were like downtown, one block off a Pike, in one of those dirty alleys, and I went, let's smoke some weed over here. I was like, what's up, dude? Yeah, and I think later, much later, like a few years later, is when I saw him on the public access. So I knew him before the public. And I saw him on there, and I was like, oh shit, I know this guy.
Yeah, but he's like, his last name's not Hunt.
Yeah, man, and we used to record his shit too, like record the recording and then watch the porn and shit.
Well, yeah, me too on VHS. Do you?
Yeah, on VHS.
Yeah, but do you know what used to go back to back with his show though?
No, I can't remember.
So this is something cool about me, but in general, anybody that was like me, there used to be live recordings from the Comedy Underground in Seattle at its original location.
Oh.
The one when it was up on what was it, Westlake area, right? Or no, it was up on Capitol Hill or something, right?
No, I was more downtown, like by the Mission.
Oh
It was a couple
yeah, it
blocks.
was more
It was
down
a
towards
couple
the
blocks.
waterfront.
No, it was more towards the not that Mission. It was on the Mission Bread of Life Mission, Second Avenue,
Okay.
by Swanee's. It was about 2 blocks from where it was now.
Oh, okay,
But
okay. But you know
yeah,
what I'm
but it was a
talking
cool.
about.
It
The
was
original
downstairs.
location.
It was like a literal downstairs. The new one was downstairs too, but this one was like the
Not attached to a bar
downstairs.
like the new one, yeah.
Yeah,
Like the new one is downstairs from a bar.
it looks kind of cool. It was real legendary.
Oh
I never
yeah, no,
entered.
I know.
I never.
Yeah,
I never set foot into it. Unfortunately,
I
I
was
got
like,
into it too late.
so I knew one of the MCs. He lived like around the corner from me, and he invited me to go out to it and learn how to do comedy and stuff. It was when I was 15.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Got you in there?
Well, he was the MC. But I mean, I don't even remember any of it because like it was like I wasn't like a comedian by any means either. But
Oh,
show like literally the comics and everything. They would film. So it would be like 2 or 3 in the morning
it's
and
so
you could
very nice.
watch comedians working on material. And that was
Nice.
so they recorded it and then they would put it onto public access.
Oh, cool. I never saw that. That's weird.
Yeah, so it was pretty dope. It would go from usually it would either be the comedy into the porn, which is Mike Hunt show, or it would be Mike Hunt show into the comedy.
The Phil Mike Hunt show.
That was a public access channel 77, baby.
Oh yeah, 77. That's right. Yeah, there's all sorts of weird shit.
Satellites here, you and I.
Is it still on? Is there still cable access? I'm sure it's all Jewified
yes,
now.
It's totally just it's. I mean,
it's like get your vaccine.
Like the only things on there now, almost entirely, are people that want to be religious, like, but they're not. You know what I mean? Like they want to be like those famous televangelists.
Oh, because you still got freedom of religion.
Filming of themselves televangelizing. And then
damn,
it'll be like conspiracy videos. Hella conspiracy videos. And then it'll be like live recordings from like Bellevue Community College.
Light bulb, I should do a cable access show.
I wanted to when I was still living in Seattle, but I could never find anyone to work with. Like I wanted to do legit. I wanted to do a thing where it was like a show and then music. So I wanted to have where you have a band and then you also had so it was literally like a Tonight Show type atmosphere, but with better music. Like not like a band that just plays generic intro music. I wanted it to be kind of like dope like that. But that's Mike Hunt fought. But you know who shut him down eventually was the local Prude Society. Like he fought and fought and fought. But
yeah, he did.
He ended up getting canceled before cancel culture was a thing. You know,
yeah, nowadays they'd just be like, "Oh, butt fucking and fucking licking ass."
Well, that's the thing.
All
right?
that shit is in.
He was literally an advocate for public rights and for public speech and for everything. He wasn't doing it as like, "Oh, I'm hiding behind this shit."
He probably is just a dirty butt licker. A filthy degenerate, but that's fine to be that too.
I mean, his show wasn't that bad. Like realistically, it wasn't sleazy by any means. Like it was
double butt penetration, sir. That's a little painful.
No,
those women are being exploited, JD. They're exploited. They're innocent. They're innocent women.
Actresses and actors.
Hey, you know my favorite part of porn, women in porn, is they always go, "The women are being exploited." And then I go, it's weird how whenever there's something filthy and dirty going on, there's always a woman right nearby who's willing to do it. Like, they're like, the women are forced into prostitution. But I go, they're always near there. They're always right nearby when there's something. It's weird. It's almost like if they had a will of their own, it's almost like they're getting money for it. And then it's actually more like the men are being exploited. The men, like a sad man who can't
It's
get,
certainly
who
not
can't get.
paid as well.
No, because it's a inherently worthless act. It is.
Well,
I mean, most men can snap their fingers and get like all kinds of women, but some men can't.
Most of them aren't also like as special as certain ones. Like what's his name? Rod Silver or something, and then obviously Ron
Who?
Jeremy. There's just
Ron Jeremy?
Yeah, the other one was like Max Steel or something Steel. I don't remember. Some dude from the '90s was super popular with like he had a cock of gold or whatever, and fucking super special. But no, you know what I think's interesting? I'm no mathematician, right? But
I don't have a cock of gold. I'll tell you that right now.
What?
My cock's not made of gold.
No, maybe platinum.
No.
No. What I think is interesting. I'm no mathematician, mind you, right? I'm no mathematician.
You're really not a mathematician? I always thought you were a mathematician.
I have never condoned to say that neither, but I will tell you this. Mathematically, I find it interesting how the correlation works between the women who complain and attractiveness. So the women, oh meow, kitty kitty. That looks like a baby cougar, wildcat.
She's fascinated by you. She's like, what does he have to say?
I'm saying that it's interesting to me how ugly the women are that say that the other women are being exploited on film.
Women are just mostly dumb.
They're typically the most usually raunchy, disgusting women, or women that used to be gorgeous but now are way past their what do you call it? Use by date. Well expired. They are women.
They're worn out.
They are very much, and they regret every choice they ever made.
Yeah, you try being a woman. It doesn't look too easy.
I've been told I would have made a very beautiful woman. Well, actually, pretty girl, I think the term was. You would have been a very pretty girl, I think was the term.
Yeah, I agree, man. You would have made a great woman, man.
There's an app where you can like change yourself to a female, and it like does that, and I really am gorgeous. Also, when I was
good to have
school, and I don't think I did it as much, but college.
That'd be totally awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah, it would be.
We can't show that. We'll get in trouble.
Huh?
Can't show that. We'll get in trouble unless we put it up on screen.
Oh, really? You'll get in trouble?
Yeah, because it's
maybe they should. Have they ever thought of minding their own business?
Well, all I'm saying is you can put it up and comment on it, but you have to commentary. You can't just like watch. Like I got flagged. They wouldn't let me post because I showed like five minutes and then of that clip that I was showing you, where it's Dan Aykroyd's prostitute.
John Aykroyd's prostitute? Or did you say prostate?
No, it's one of his classic sketches. He's like a male prostitute.
They should make posting my face illegal. I don't think it should be allowed to be on there.
No, it doesn't. I'm saying you can't post. Like NBC apparently gets mad because they think that because I post that clip, suddenly now I'm gonna have 1,000 followers and like 1 million views.
Well, if we name our podcast after Elon Musk, maybe that would be a good way to do it.
In theory, I can clickbait the shit out of it if I want to. Every time I go live, I can put a title that's like total clickbait, so whoever's searching, it'll pop up.
And then we can shame them for coming.
I wouldn't. I'd welcome them and then I'd shame them.
Oh, you shame them after you welcome them?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of how it works.
I don't know how things work. You're down there in LA. I don't know nothing. I'm just a burnout Seattle fucking.
You should come to LA, dude.
Just come to LA?
I mean it. You really should.
I got a credit card. Maybe I could just rent a place down there.
I mean, you probably could.
Maybe down there near Skid Row or something.
That's where Kenny. Oh no, Kenny lives. He lives closer to.
I think my grocery order's here. You know, sometimes when my grocery order comes, dude, sometimes I want to.
Kenny's rent is like $80 a month.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure it's like $80.
Hey, check it out. Check it out.
Hey! What if it was a bunch of dog shit?
Look at this. One of these cords is broken on the thing. I'm gonna complain.
Yeah, you should.
I'm gonna get him fired over it.
Give him 3-star review.
Yeah, no. I only
had
go
to
5 or
carry it underneath the basket because the handles were broken.
I had to rear there the bag of my goods that I had delivered by my servant.
You gotta tell him. You tell him. This slave is very bad at the slavery job because they're being paid, and my dog was not able to bring it to me.
There was these hotels when I drove to Austin. I was staying in all these little shit motels. Like most of them are shit. And one of them I was in, I was like, I get the thing, please review your travel lodge. And then what I would do is I go, because I'm bored, I'm by myself anyways. And then I go, long review. I go, I found that this travel lodge made me feel sad, but I must admit I was already sad before. So I can't really blame the travel lodge. But I will say this: your little fucking shit motel did not help.
Dude,
And
the last time,
then I still get comments. They announce to you when you get comments. So once in a while, because it'll come on my email, and I'll go, damn, I still get comments. I still like it because I go, it's all because of my writing because I just made a funny comment.
Yeah. Dude, last time I stayed at one was in Oregon when I went through.
You want to see what I got at the store?
My buddy.
Oh, sorry, what?
Oregon. We went to Oregon and we stayed at the travel lodge or whatever. But he's a chain smoker, and so he got us.
You see what I got?
Eggs.
Yeah, those are the best $10 eggs you can get.
You should eat one raw like a dog.
You see this right here?
And then you can be like sponsored by eggs.
I like Instacart because you never get the things you ordered exactly, so it's like kind of like it. It's like an adventure.
Slice the bread for you, right?
Yeah, but you know what I'm going to use those for?
Toast.
You know what I mean? I know what you're gonna say. Sandwich or garlic bread or something. No, I'm using them to put. Huh?
I said
no, not even toast. I'm gonna put them on top of French onion soup. They're like croutons. Yeah. I'm gonna put it but I'm not gonna chop them in croutons. I'm just gonna like bake them, and then I'll put cheese on top, and then you put them in the soup, and it soaks in. And then it's like this crunchy chop top. I'm trying to make French onion soup.
Yeah. Between you and I, we're gonna have one hell of a restaurant.
So I got cheese right here. See? Oh.
They're trying to get laws imposed against the street people that sell, not street people, but you know, the ones that sell food on the street. Did you know?
Oh, really?
What I thought was so cool when I first came to LA. There's sections of the city when you're like near the Hollywood Walk and stuff, like the Star Walks and stuff. There's literally parts of the city where there's like legit like traffic type signs against the pole that say it has like a street food cart, and it has the X, like the 0 with the line through it, saying no street vendors allowed in this area.
Did they start more street vendors when they made it so the stores couldn't stay open?
I have no idea. I wasn't here at that time. I came aftermath, but
I bet you they did though.
So many of them. Like when you go to, there's like literally 2 or 3 just next to each other even at times.
You know what I mean? What a societal menace they are. How dare they make a business that feeds delicious food to the public for a cheap price? Thank God we have government. Am I right? Thank God government's here to ruin something that causes no problems to anyone at all.
Well, look, they need their cut. That's the issue here. It's not that they're selling food. It's that they're not giving their cut. They're not paying the taxes. They don't have a small business license. They don't pay for use of the street in the city. That's how Seattle is. If you want to have anything, they make you rent space. Except for one section, it's the public market. But if you want to be at the public market on the inside, you have to pay. You know?
What?
At the public market, you can line up on the outside for free if you get there in time. But
you like everything to be for free, I've noticed.
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I represent a person that understands that taxes are a complete sham. Like if you were to ask me what is one of the issues with America, I would say the entire federal system. I want to abolish the federal, dude. Entirely. I think that anybody that works for the federal government, to some extent, not only hates themselves and their job because consciously they know that they're terrible, working for some of the most evil and terrible, like horrible.
That'd be cool when we finally come up with our own police system, like our own law
You
enforcement.
mean like when we realize that we don't actually need them because most people actually aren't that violent?
They're what?
You mean when we realize that we don't actually need them because most people actually aren't that violent?
Well, I mean, we got a bunch of people we need to get arrested, though.
Well, right now, currently, there's in LA and Seattle, literal gunpoint robberies and murders because there's less police than ever. Same with New York also. But if you look at Arizona and you look at Texas, guess what? There isn't nearly as many or as much. You want to take a guess why?
Because of your pretty face.
If I could
Because
live
you
in
look
two
like
places at one time, sure. But no, it's quite literally because right to own. The more people that own guns, the lower the crime. Fancy that. If everybody had a gun, do you really think that as many people would be using guns?
we're the most armed country in the whole fucking world, I think.
Damn straight, and we should be, right?
I don't know, man. I went to go to a gun store with my friend, and then I started thinking about, would I be able to shoot someone? And I go, I guess I could, but it's not natural for me.
As a comedian, I know you're just being comedic, but as a person, as well as I've gotten to know you, you're not the type that's going to just randomly shoot somebody because you lose your temper.
I mean, I'd like
Also,
to.
just
I
so
would
you
love
know,
to do that.
This is how the law works. It's very simple.
You know what I'd rather do? I'd love to enjoy the fact that I can enjoy roast beef, actual roast beef. Look at that. You know what this is like? You know what this is like?
It looks
This
like
is a woman's pussy, her vagina, some roast beef.
No, okay, it doesn't. No, it doesn't look like sliced roast beef, Mister.
That's just sliced roast beef.
No, it looks like roast beef when it's folded up into folds.
This is like I sliced off a piece of some.
If you were a cannibal and you sliced off a woman's vagina clit pieces.
Yeah.
That looks like a slice of skin. That does not look like a pussy.
I disagree. It tastes like it too.
I mean, I guess. I don't know what.
No, I'm just playing. I'm not like that. I'm just enjoying the fact that I could order some roast beef. You know.
I was just gonna tell you, if you didn't know already, the way that the law works. If you have a gun and you feel threatened, and someone is in it doesn't matter, but you feel threatened, then all you have to do before you shoot them is say, I have a gun, I'm going to use it because I'm threatened. If the person proceeds to be threatening, you can shoot them and get away with it. But you have to contact the police immediately to dispose of the body. Otherwise, you're going to be held accountable and get arrested for the crime. You have to file a bunch of paperwork explaining that you were threatened and that you warned them in advance that you had a weapon, specifically a gun, that you were going to use.
Yeah, I know that they don't like people having guns, so they're making more and more laws.
No, these are laws that have been around for a filthy second. The 80s is when they started making fucked up laws toward weapons. 80s is when they started making the rules against semi-autos and such. But you know what's interesting? The 80s is also when they started training SWAT people with paramilitary tactics. So isn't it coincidental that at the same time they were training police in paramilitary tactics, they were also making sure that the people of the nation had more difficult time acquiring semi-automatic weapons? Fancy.
Yeah, duh, man. I listen to Ted Nugent. I know what's going on.
Well, it makes perfect sense when you think about it, right? You know,
what they do is they tug on our little fucking heartstrings. They're like, and then the children were killed, and then anytime they mention the children or there were this and that, I go, yeah, I know you want to do some fucking agenda that you got. Yeah, fine.
You know what I
Fine.
Said? You know what I said?
Huh?
Death happens.
Actually, you know what? Right where I live right now, there's even not as many home invasions because of the threat of the gun. Like, I don't even have to actually have a gun because people know that if they come around in this area snooping around houses, someone will have a gun. That's actually the interesting point. It's just we're dumb. The populace is dumb, so we'll think like, oh, the safety is because, like you said, nobody's violent. I go, I don't think it's because no one's violent.
Paid attention to our previous episodes would understand that your neighbor is black. So usually black people, it's presumed they always have a gun, right? That's presumed.
They got a gun with a bunch of chicken grease on it.
Maybe.
Because they're eating fried chicken and they get the grease on the gun.
I roasted a black girl. That was my opponent.
Oh yeah. Was that a fun experience for you?
Well, I told the joke that you gave me that you were like, I don't know if you should tell this one because it's probably too intelligent for people. Especially they would have no clue who the guy is.
Yeah.
And I told that joke, you know the one I'm talking about how she wanted to meet him. What
happened? No one laughed?
I forgot already what his name was.
Jeff Buckley.
Yeah, okay. So I told the joke exactly as you like how it was. But they said that it's a family friendly, so I didn't say the fuck because I was doing my best to like not be too, because he was gonna clip it or whatever. But I said the joke about how she wanted to meet him, and when he found out, he jumped in a river and drowned himself. And then, so the way that this heckle mic works, it's called heckle mic, so it's a roast, but it's also a heckle because the judges at any time can chime in and make heckles at you.
Oh.
And immediately after I told it, because here's what happened. So she mentioned Jeff Buckley to her roast against me. So then I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the Jeff Buckley one back to back on that bitch. So I did the Jeff Buckley one back at her. And then immediately the heckles that came from the fucking judges, they go, oh, that's a great idea. Like, just tell something nobody knows what the fuck you're talking. And then the other guy's like, thank God we got Google, right?
Nice.
Yeah, so they totally.
Why did she bring up Jeff Buckley for no reason? What the fuck was that about?
She didn't bring him up for no reason. She brought him up because it was her roast joke or whatever. I'm not sure. I forget which one it was.
She's roasting Jeff Buckley?
No, she was roasting me, but she mentioned Jeff Buckley in her roast on me. I forget which one it was, but as soon as she said it, I'm like, okay, so because I had all the jokes lined up, and I had them lined up like categorically, so that I could tell them back to back to back, kind of a thing, depending on what But then I was like picking up circumstantially, and I was like, all right, she said Jeff.
Did she laugh at least?
Yeah, she got it. Yeah. You know what was the best? Did I tell you my porn one? What I did to her? I go. So the one I told before, like I told the cam girl one. And then Tommy was like, Tommy Boy was like, he goes, all right, you gotta just mainly just keep it simple, and then lay into the fact that technology is the punchline. And so I did that, where I was like, she used to be a cam girl back in the 90s when AOL was still relevant. And then I like told that one. But then the next one I told was the porn one. I go, oh, interesting thing. She used to review porns until one day, like, she reviewed a terrible porn, her own. And then that was the joke, saying that her porn was bad. And she, like, literally immediately chimed in because, it's her turn or whatever. And she's like, she listed like the awards that her porn won. So I was like, yeah, I got her on that one.
Nice, man.
And then I also think I got her kind of heavy because I was making the references to how she's old. So she didn't like those ones either because she's older than me and Tommy. Tommy's like, you gotta let, because she's his friend. Like they're actually friends. Like they both, when she was in China, he was with her. Like they were working and stuff, doing that China stuff. So he helped me a bit, but he didn't really help me because he's like, I can't really help you too much, but I can help you a little. But like in general, he was cool with it and he was happy because he kept going like, you're gonna get destroyed, dude. And I'm like, I know, probably, you know, but he was proud of me for doing it because he's like, you gotta have strength to take her on. She's that good and stuff like that. But
What'd she talk about your face?
let's see. She made one that I've heard before, based off of JD, where she goes, "There's more famous JDs like Salinger or something like that."
JD Salinger.
Yeah, and
Oh, crowd goes crazy.
the one that I really liked that she did, she goes, he told me he had been in a threesome with what was it, like something accidentally or whatever, like not, or with lesbians that were experimenting or whatever, and then her punchline was like talking about trying to find my clit.
Oh,
But I don't know. I wasn't really, I don't know. Like they said that we sounded like an old married couple, which I was like, I don't know. But my delivery was bad because I don't have a lot of experience, and also I didn't have them memorized, so I was reading off the cards, and I was like really nervous too, just because.
come on, Jesus!
They told me
Get your shit together, man.
Well, yeah, right. But I don't care.
Fuck.
It's not like she's my friend. She's just a person that I've rivaled. But I mean, we're friendly now. Maybe I'd do it again. But I want Tom to do it. He wants to roast her again.
I don't know what to do with comedy anymore.
Come to LA with all of your material that no one's ever heard before. Because LA is a completely new scene. And there's several places you can perform at.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, especially now that you have the vaccine card.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you could perform at the Hollywood Improv, the Comedy Store, and Laugh Factory now.
When I come there back, though, my girlfriend doesn't clean the house and shit. I got to clean it all up and shit.
So you have money, hire a maid temporarily. Just make sure it's not.
Ooh, a hot one. I could hire a hot maid.
A hot, sexy one, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. If you get lucky.
I feel guilty, though. I feel guilty about that, though.
Why? If you set her up to cheat and she cheats, then you got an excuse to leave.
What?
I don't know. I thought you and McBride's main reason for not coming to LA is your girls. That's what you said. McBride will never leave because of his girlfriend.
I don't care what McBride does. Fuck that guy.
He would
Just
be
balled out.
funny if he would leave Seattle. I know for a fact people would like his comedy, and he would probably get the boost that he needs to be a true comedian. And I
No, he's better off.
The only difference
he's
is
better off here eating. He's better off eating granola and whatever other bullshit people do here.
But you're not.
With their little fucking woolen hats and their little humble pants they wear and shit.
But you're not.
You know what I mean? The humble.
Casey, you're fucking amazing. I know for a fact. Like, I'm not just saying.
I'm getting old though, man.
Listen, I've been in LA for a year now. I've seen the best that they have to offer, other than the fucking people like, you know, David Spade and whatever, like those people or whatever. Like, but the amateurs, if you will, and the people that are regulars, if you will, that are just like me, except whatever, you're better than a majority of them. I guarantee you. And also, you look different than a majority of the people here. And also,
I do have a funny-looking head. That's true.
No, I mean, you're similar.
I do have the advantage in funny-looking head.
No, you and Don Barris supposed to have cute baby faces with blue eyes and balder tops, but you don't shave your bald. You don't shave your dome like he does.
I do need a haircut.
But no, I'm serious, man. Like, I know for a fact you would slay. Like, you would probably be like thinking right now that I'm just making this up. and then you would come out here and you'd start hitting up the local mics to get your feet wet or whatever. And you would be slaying it. All these comedians would be loving you because you're so, like, I guarantee you, your material is better than most of the fucking what they call micers.
Plus, it's hot now. It's like it's becoming hot now to be the anti the bull. Yeah, but I hate that now though because everyone's like, now they're gonna start like Elizabeth Stanton's like, bitch, I predicted all this shit. I go, you were the leftist most bullshit. Yeah. Cry rape. Remember when she cried rape on Kenny Lyon? Remember when I got mad at her?
Straight up, I tore.
When I yelled at her face.
Fucking know him.
And now, and I was like, I scolded her out in front of all those people, and now she's like, dude, I predicted
shit on her so bad, and everyone was loving it, but her.
Because I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Shut up. She, you know, she's funny though. She likes it when I tell her to shut up.
Yeah, you.
I always go, shut up.
Fucking sandwich.
No, like we're on another little show, and
is she still happily attached to some random fucking talk about cucks?
She's got some boyfriend guy who's like what she likes. She like
one.
Yeah, so I don't really know him.
Weirdo. He's like he's a weirdo.
I don't really know him too well. He seems real quiet.
Anybody that would be with Stanton more than a month is a weirdo to me.
No, she says he always breaks. She says he always breaks up with her now, and then he tells her to get out of his house. So I kind of like him now, from what I hear, because of course she's gonna get tired. But then she says he's all into guns now. He wants to get into guns because his whole country's under fucking lockdown bullshit.
Dude, Canada.
I go, you mean? I go, you mean he's trying something, trying to figure this shit out?
Canada's full of fucking dumb fucking.
No, they're just peaceful people, you know.
I think Canadians are pushovers.
I just don't like her acting like she's the fucking like she knew it all along, all this shit. Well, nobody knew this shit all along. Everybody played along with this shit.
She does. She just tries to go the opposite of whatever's current.
Yeah, because she always wants to act like she invented shit. She's the coolest. It's all comedy. It's all comedy, cool shit.
But she's a hacksaw if I've ever seen one.
Nah, she's all right.
Her comedy is like, she doesn't come up with new material very much at all. She's one of those comics that doesn't improve. They've already pretty much peaked. Like
she doesn't even get to do comedy now, so.
Yeah, she does at literally at musical mics. She's like a comic that goes.
No, they don't got everything's illegal now. She can't do shit there now.
No, Canada's fun, dude.
She don't have the vax. Everything there is vaccinated, bullshit, and all that. So I do have some sympathy for her.
What is she shouting out that she's a Jew and they're going against her for being a Jew? That's her whole thing, that she's Jewish. I'm a woman and I'm Jewish.
No, she's saying it's ironic that they're trying to call her fucking racist when she's Jewish. That's all she's basically saying.
Well,
she makes some good points.
I'm trying to work on my Jordan Peterson. Does it kind of sound like Jordan Peterson?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to sound a little bit like Jordan Peterson. I'm working on my Jordan Peterson. I want to do him as a character. I got OSAA. My daughter Jordan is pretty cool. Wait, his daughter, right? Is Jordan?
Huh?
His daughter is Jordan, right? Or no, is he Jordan? Which one is he? It's him and his daughter. And then his wife, who they claim had cancer, but there's a lot of people that say she never had cancer.
No, really?
Yeah, I love it. I love that shit. He's so fucking great, but then also he's so fucking scandalous. Like his daughter is like hustling fucking meat. Oh, my daughter, she got me on this carnivore diet. It's really helped my mentality.
You shouldn't be listening to that shit.
Oh no, I really appreciate her. She's wonderful.
Don't be running that guy down.
He sounds like though, because he's got like his his messages are all so stagnant that if I can memorize them, I can totally sound like him.
I don't do I don't do Jordan Peterson hate unless it's from a better angle.
If you read it in the Bible. Aw, why did you leave, Casey? Probably. He'll be back. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. This is not my Jordan Peterson. This is just me anymore. This is kind of like my Muppet voice, a little bit.
I got this one. This is one of my favorite voices. I like this one. It's kind of like a nerd, but he's like cool. You know? He's not really that cool though. Actually, this one's like way better if I that's not exactly how it is.
But I need tape, like on this part right here.
Well, let me tell you something.
I don't know why Casey leave. He don't like Jordan Peterson apparently. No, he does. He's full of it. He'll come back. His phone probably just died or something. Let's see what he says. He says phone died for 23 days. Also, his phone couldn't have died if he's texting me. Anyway, that was like an hour and a half. I want to listen to music now, and do some other stuff. Get prepared. I probably should end this out though. So here's the thing. What I'm doing these days. Just an update. So I've been on medicine for a little over a month now, maybe almost as much as I want to say. Like I'm pretty close to a month now, at least, of the medicine, and it's Wellbutrin. I keep wanting to call it knockoff, but it's not. It's off-brand or whatever, and it's called bupropion. It's a antidepressant, basically anti-anxiety kind of a thing, with some help for ADD and such. However, what I'm really attempting to get is actual, like, I want to call them narcotics because they are technically classified, I believe, as a class 2 substance, but it's I want to get on either Adderall or Vyvanse. Vyvanse is it's more expensive, but Vyvanse is pretty baller because it's like very potent, but you only have to take it once in the morning and it lasts for pretty much the entire day. And that's the type of thing that I want. Medically, my goal medically right now, my main goal is I don't want to be using recreational drugs, street drugs, if you will. You know, I don't want to be using stuff like that to help myself because, first and foremost, even though I believe pharmaceuticals are incredibly dangerous, I also believe that street drugs, because more than ever, being laced with fentanyl, and you got to test it, and also when you test it and you find out it's laced with fentanyl, then you can still take it if you know that it's laced. You got to be smart, but like in all reality, I don't want to fucks with that because fentanyl is the opposite of what I need, which is amphetamine to like help with my mind. The thing is, my psychiatrist is trying to claim and stuff that I'm more clear, but that's the thing, like I'm really not, because if I was, then you would be seeing videos dropping that were fully edited out because I have hours and hours of footage of me in characters, ready to be put out there for everyone to enjoy, explaining the storyline of the FPS. And literally, it's a whole narration. It's got literally a whole storyline, episodic type stuff with all the characters, and they all have relationships. And I've been told that it's a really amazing thing. Some people have actually said that my characters and my storylines remind them of The Office, except it's like the FPS society hanging out and working together to succeed to get to SNL. So I'm working on getting that. So I need a general practitioner, which has become more difficult than I expected. The one that I did get, he is legitimately a scandal. He's some dude that has, like, if you looked at his actual reviews, it explains that this dude is going to South America and doing some scandalous stuff. I don't even know how to explain it better than that. So I needed a new one, and I'm working on that, but it takes time to go to have the doctor and all that. I want to do that, so I need to do that, but more importantly, I have to do that because I need permission and or to take these specific tests so that I can get the prescription for Vyvanse or Adderall from the psychiatrist, because it is a class 2 substance and therefore it is a hardcore narcotic. And also, realistically, it's all the people that have been selling it and that sell it that are messing around for everyone else, because in all reality, they're not respecting it. They're not using it as they're supposed to. And I don't think that that's cool, but also I'm like, it's not my place, because I knew people selling their medicines when I was in middle school. All right? I'm not going to name drop, but let's just say Ben, for example. But, you know, no one's going to know who I'm talking about. I can't even remember Homedude's last name, and we were friends in middle school. Either way, I do remember the one that killed himself, though. Different Ben. That was Benjamin Seamus. Seamus, you will be missed. You are missed. Years have gone by. You are still one of the kindest, nicest, most genuine humans I ever knew. And I will never forget, because Benjamin Seamus got taken out of the hospital. He was highly suicidal still, but because he hit the 2-week limit, they had to let him out so that they could let more people in. And that's one of the main reasons, other than my own story, as to why I've always known and believed that the system is incredibly broken and not designed to help people. Because ultimately, most people put in there for 2 weeks, taken out, nothing's repaired. But either way, that's a tangent that I'm not doing. I just wanted to explain what's going on in my life right now. I have been doing stand-up again a little bit at a time. But the difference is lately I've been recording just audio, and I wish to learn how to animate. Yet another reason why I need to get myself on some appropriate scripts, so that way I can take the scripts and it will help me to be able to sit down and focus, because otherwise my mind is all over the place. And I attempt to explain to the doctor that my mind is still all over the place, but I'll be on coffee when I'm talking to him, or more specifically, I'm able to seem clearer headed to him because I'm not talking about things that are chaotic. I'm discussing with him things that it's like concise, because I think about it before I have the appointment, and when I have the appointment, like, I am monitoring how my head feels. I'm monitoring how my body is. Like, for example, one of the main reasons that I'm not sure I want to keep taking this drug is the ringing tinnitus, because when I was younger, I was put on a lot of medicines, and I remember vividly a lot of terrible things, and I know for a fact that it destroyed a majority of my natural development, and I will never, ever, ever say that I should have been medicated when I was younger. The only reason that I'm seeking medicines now, and the only reason I'm taking this specific medicine, is because I'm willing to do anything to get to SNL, and I'm willing to do anything to be able to survive comedy, and I'm willing to do anything to be able to do what is necessary, because I have to do everything by myself. Literally everything I have to do by myself. So the long and short of it is that I can't be going and getting crack from fucking Skid Row or meth. And also, I shouldn't be doing crack or meth. That's not healthy, and it's not good for you. And cocaine is all laced up with the fentanyl. And in general, there's just a lot of reasons. And marijuana, every day I wish I could smoke. Every day I want to smoke. I would love to be like in my head, like this last hour, I've been like craving marijuana and just craving alcohol and craving these things. I want to be loaded and high and out of my mind because I can't tolerate the state that I'm in. And that's just the full reality. Like, there's one thing in my life that will not change until it changes. And it is heavily reliant on things that I cannot control because that would be called rape. And also, it's not how it works. But I'm saying that I need a girl in my life, a good girl by my side that is doing her own things, maybe similar, but ideally we're not doing the exact same things because I don't want to have it be like that. I'd rather have it be us doing similar things on the same level and the same mindset, or have her being doing something entirely different, but something that it's not too time consuming. So I don't really like I would in my future, would I could have multiple girls in my life, then yeah, a surgeon, right? I want a teacher, like all these things. But in my real practical where I'm at now, just one to experience, spend time with, everything. But literally most of, if not all of the people that I look up to right now that have succeeded on SNL, that started SNL, Lorne Michaels, formerly Leibowitz, literally was engaged, married, girlfriends, Dan Aykroyd, Belushi, all of the, just the list goes on and on. Hader, fucking all these guys, all of them. Carlin was married for years and years. George Carlin was married. Lenny Bruce even had on again, off again relationships and scandals with his girl. You understand that females are such a powerful thing that I don't have, and that depresses me every single morning when I wake up. It makes me depressed every single morning, and that's why I'm on these pills right now to attempt to scramble my mind to the point where it removes that crippling depression solely created because of the fact that I'm literally every day, every single day, I'm reminded that one of the main reasons I'm not succeeding right now is because I don't have a good girl in my life. And it's a known fact that most men, when they have a girl in their life, they don't even have to think about it anymore to the point where they're able to focus. You see where I'm getting at? So either I need drugs because this is not going to... Look, the only way that I could get a girl in my life right now that I know how is literally being a complete and total opposite of what I want to be, which is literally telling her that she's less than me, literally making her feel bad, literally insulting her, literally being a complete shithead. Because when you are such a shitty person to a girl, then they start believing it to the point where they will be around you all the time, because it's a very powerful and very toxic dynamic. And that is most of the relationships and most of the things I see. And also the other thing is I refuse to lie. I refuse. Look, if I could talk like this all the time, mates, if I want to, I could get a bar right now. I could walk all over Los Angeles, and if I talking like this, I could guarantee you I've got to have a couple of ladies on my side. But I wouldn't cut them ladies. Now I cut them lasses, wouldn't I? But a lass is a lady, but a lady is a woman, right? So if I say a woman, it will be a lady. But a lass, what about a little lady? What I would say, if she's 16, right, it's legal in Europe, right? So if I want to be, right, you see what I'm saying, that if I said that I could constantly talk like this, and I'll get all the girls I want, because it's an accent, right? And that's the thing. I could also just lie. And that's what most of the dudes that I've seen, they're all fronting. That's why most of the time, dudes do not like me, because they can sense it. Just like a dog, but the difference is a dog respects it, a dog loves it, a dog worships it. Also, dogs are very much more observant of pheromones. That's the one thing about me. I don't know how to explain this better than my pheromones are legit, amazing, powerful, and of full essence. It's just women, girls, they're confused, and that's fine, you know? I don't blame them. I mean, the media, the society, everything is designed to cripple women and make them literally never achieve or become the amazing powerhouses that majority of them are supposed to be. And at the same time, these guys, no matter how we claim that this whole entire system is fixed and being repaired, it is not. Very little has changed. You just seen it on a surface level, like things are changing, making moves, but in all reality, that's not what's going on. A majority, and I could get in a lot of trouble for saying this, and I could say, well, it's my opinion or whatever, but in all reality, I could do my Jud and Peterson voice or whatever, my Jud and Peterson. I gotta work on it, but in all reality, I've been a part, I've hung out, I've supported, and in general, some of my favorite people that I was around and most accepting people in my life, other than people of color, specifically, blacks especially, but in general, have been homosexuals and trans. Because actually, some of my very, very favorite, including people that I've had relations with, were black trans. Because they are one of the most hunted, despised within their own communities, literally. So you got the urban, if you will, communities, and you've got literally the LGBTQ. They also, and the main reason why is what I'm about to say. Predatory, okay? This is the honest to God truth. I got nothing against the legit homosexual people that are literally pretty much the exact same as straight people, with the one exception, that are attracted to the same sex. That's it. They're literally business people who just live lives and do things. And they're the ones that also I enjoy a lot because they talk mad shit more than I can. Or as in the community, throw shade. But they wouldn't even use terms like throw shade because they're not even dragged. But what their whole main thing is they despise the flamboyant ones or the newly gays because those types of people draw attention, but in all the worst ways. But you can't attack those people or say like, hey, tone it down a bit, because that's considered a hate crime or that's considered insultive or whatever. It doesn't matter if you also are gay, because it's just what the society wants and it's dictating. But in all reality, that's not what we're dealing with, okay? We're literally not dealing with that, okay? What we're dealing with is a surface level thing where people are supposed to believe. But in all reality, nothing is changing. Just perspectives, but nothing. People are no more or less intelligent than they've ever been before. Society is no more or less effective than it's ever been before. And what's going on right now is there are a lot of predatory males who are claiming to be trans, but they're not. They're not even mentally. They are quite literally predatory males who are deranged. And this is not even made up. This is very real. The problem is we're not allowed to call attention to these specific ones. Like, because there are people who truly have gender dysmorphia. And I respect and admire and understand. And if you have gender dysmorphia and the only way to make you feel like you can handle day-to-day society is for you to do a full-on transfer, I am all on board. Go in. Personally, I say you should get the surgery, but I also understand that's an expensive procedure. And personally, I don't think things like, for example, the military should have to pay for that, because the military is paid for with tax dollars. And I don't personally think it's fair to take more out of my paycheck so that somebody who needs gender reassignment gets to have that privilege courtesy of my hours and hours at a job that I cannot tolerate or stand. I can tell I'm doing something that I love every day, like writing for SNL and or performing on SNL and or just in general being immersed entirely and just showing Lorne Michaels that I have everything it takes beyond everything, and I'm literally the incarnation of Lorne Michaels when he was in his young 30s. I know for a fact that I think like Lorne, I act like Lorne, I behave like Lorne. The only difference is I'm a performer unlike Lorne. Because Lorne, that's the one thing he never was, is the performance side. The times that he did perform, he was the straight man for a reason. I've seen it. I've seen footage. It's very difficult, but you can find it. There are footages from the late 60s to early 70s of Lorne Michaels and his partner literally doing their similar to a Weekend Update type report situation. So what I'm getting at is that I'm not going to be anything other than what I am, and more people need to be like that. And the reason that oftentimes people are turned off against me is because they are not courageous enough to do what I do. And I'm not saying I'm better than others, because in all reality, it takes so much strength inside me to do this stuff. And I wish I could say that I'm at the point in my life where it's natural and easy, but it's not, because it takes so much effort, a lot of effort all the time. Effort, it takes so much. But at the same time, I'm stubborn, I'm strong, but at the same time, the more the years go on, the more the days go by, it beats me down because there are so few people like me. And when I'm shining my brightest, it draws the most attention of the people that want to destroy me, because I'm the antithesis of what they are. The more narcissistic a person is, the more they despise me. And the reason why is because the most malicious human beings on this planet are the ones that refuse to, they don't even want to face difficulties of realizing that you are a fractured piece of an entirety whole. Literally, we are all fractured pieces, and they don't want to face the facts that it is not easy to forgive your parents for the abuse. It is not easy to forgive a system for its literal destruction and displacement. It is not easy to accept that you had no control. It is not easy, especially to accept that you have no control. And the more you accept these things, it is not an easy thing to do. It is so much easier to lie and put a front on and say, oh, I'm all about black rights. Yo, look at me, I'm at the marches. Oh, I'm all about the female rights. Yo, look at me, I'm at the marches. Oh, yo, Machine Gun Kelly is a great fucking example. I cannot stand him. That's why I call him Colson Faker. Everybody should know by now that Colson Faker is the fakest piece of shit on the planet as far as I'm concerned. Colson Faker is a piece of shit. And I mean that with a flaming passion. Because everything he does from the day he got to California and the day, just everything he did from Ohio to California, you can see him get more of the tattoos. You can see him get more of the piercings. You can see him start dyeing his hair. You can see him start dyeing his nails. You watch as he literally is doing everything he can to be the fakest piece of shit that he is. Dude, to the point where his literal music right now is not sub pop. It's not indie pop. It's literally fake as fuck. At least Green Day had talent behind the lyrics. At least Green Day had real presentation. All right? Green Day was called sellouts by their own fans back in the late 90s because they started getting bigger. But they never stopped being what they are. I mean, I don't personally... Okay, I stopped being a Green Day fan at American Idiot. I held on all the way through until American Idiot. That's when I'm like, I get what you're doing, but I also understand why you're doing it. And I'm sorry, Billy, that's when I got turned off. Because you became preachy, and you were never supposed to be preachy. Punk rock and indie pop and indie punk is not preaching, okay? And that's the thing, all right? Falsivity, I cannot stand. And most of these people out here are fake, all right? And so I can be like, oh, look at me, I'm for women's rights. But in all reality, no. Unless I truly am there. Because either A, I love my little sister so much that I want the world to be a better place. But even then, am I doing it just for my little sister? Because if I accept that and I admit that, there are people within the community that'll be like, you're a piece of trash because you should be doing it for all women. But how I would be is like this. You know what? I hope someday that you're doing it for all women, but I'm glad you're here and you understand and you're doing it at least for your little sister, right? The reason that I went to the BLM marches, it wasn't because all Black Lives Matter to me personally. Not that I don't think that all Black Lives Matter, because they definitely do in general. And I'm not going to get into that controversial area where you go all lives matter, because I recognize that that's not the point at all either. But I am going to say this, that for the first time ever, I saw more people in my home city of Seattle showing up to the marches that I was a part of consistently all my life. Starting with the WTO when I accidentally got pepper bombed. And I was like 12, if I remember right. I forget. I was super young. It was middle school, I think 7th grade, if I remember right, when that shit went down. It was insanity. And I got stories attached to that too. But my main point is this, okay? My main point is this. I was doing those marches because it was directly involving people that I truly cared about. All right? Starting with my good friend. I'll say good friend, even though, you know, we don't talk as much these days, but in general, Eagle-san, who said these days he don't want to go by Eagle-san until he feels like he's really earned that respect and all that shit. But in general, he's from what's called the Carver clans. And people who are unfamiliar, John T. Williams was murdered by a junior rookie cop who's still working in Washington. That piece of shit. They put him in an area they knew what he would do per his programming, and he did exactly what they expected him to do, which was literally murder. Unloaded a full round on John T. Williams, a known Carver. There's one thing you should know about the Carvers. They have a very strict policy, which makes perfect sense because their entire almost 100% purpose is carving wood. Literally. Totems. Literally. Totems. Carving. Their knives are not weapons, they are tools. And if a carver ever uses a knife as a weapon, they are literally, from an internal spiritual level, unable to ever be a carver again. That's how serious it is. All right? A gun is one thing, okay? I'm pretty sure a carver can use a gun to... I'm pretty sure they wouldn't. I think they'd more likely use their fists. Definitely seen Eagle-san getting some scraps. Bro, that's definitely what he did to me. And I told him, look, you need to get it out. And like a lot of times, especially when he's loaded, it's like, bro, I get it. I'm the representation of a lot of your hate because I am literally a representation of a lot of people's hate. And I totally respect, admire, and understand why. And I'm willing to take hits. And I told him straight up, I will not fight you back because it's not fair grounds. I would have fight someone even terms, fair to fair, scrap it out. But at the time, he needed to unload. And he's apologized since then. And he still jokes. He goes, you talk too much. And I laugh. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Well, when I'm silent, the world is quiet. A lot of times, people can't handle that either. You know? Sometimes you need noise to fill the air is all I'm getting at. I'm also Irish descent. I'm Irish-Scottish descent. Scottish descent means we are talking people. But if you understand what I'm saying, John T. Williams was brutally murdered. And people marched for him. People marched for the indigenous people of Seattle, for the rights of the indigenous people. To this day, indigenous women, not just in Washington State, in several states, the more you get to Central America, the worse it is. But there are sex trafficking, just terrible situations going on where they just go into the res and literally kidnap women. And ain't nobody do nothing. They can't, and they don't. And what's worse, police are involved and helping it happen. And the same thing applies to the trans black community in Seattle. One of the main things, other than showing up to support people like Eagle and other people also, I'm not going to start name dropping because there's a lot of things I know that I cannot talk about. Literally, I would even write about it. I wish I could. Names change, but I cannot because it's not my story to tell. But Home Dude, who I'm not going to name drop because of how serious this information is going to write raps about it and going to perform raps about it, and then the message will get out there how it's supposed to get out there. But unlike MGK, the fake and Coulson that he is, Coulson Faker, this will be a real rap artist who's in this for the soul, who's got everything by design to create a non-profit organization that literally is a studio and also a helping educational center about hip-hop and the history of hip-hop. That's the real, what I'm working toward. The end goal for me, when I get to SNL, is to pitch to Lorne, why haven't we had Rakim, the god Rakim, on SNL? Why haven't we had Nas on SNL? I am almost 100% certain that, rest in peace, but the ones that are still alive, the remaining members that are alive, Wu-Tang Clan, on SNL. These are people who created the New York scene. So much power behind them. All right? Also, I want to pitch my friends and stuff that are great artists that'll never make it without help. But at the same time, it's more important to me that these certain artists get out there because the real hip-hop needs to get out there, period. And I don't believe in the system, the scam, the sandals. I don't believe in none of that. I believe that it's all about entertainment. It's about what sells. And I believe that if my content is as good as I know it is, that it'll get on air. And the reason why is because it's as good as I know it is. And I know I am not afraid of censors because I am way smarter than anybody when it comes to that. Way smarter. That's why oftentimes people are like, are you always this clean? It's like, I guess. But it's mostly because it's, to me, too hacky to go too easy. But then now, because I've listened to people that are wiser and more successful, such as Jim Brewer, such as Big J. Okerson, such as the names go on and on, even Shane Gillis, that sometimes when you start now, you have to do things which is called pandering. And I was too good to pander, which is what I'm realizing is the problem when there's a lot of comics that you'll see that are pretty dang talented, but at the same time have never, ever broke. And the reason why is pride. Reason why is a lot of things. But in all reality, it's how it works because you know what? Sometimes people, as my dad put it, my blood dad, they just want to laugh and forget. And sometimes people just want to enjoy themselves, especially the dredge. And in the dredge of society, in the micer scene, these comics that are there, which is most your audience, that are, and they're comics that are going to be doing their amateur shows, that want people on their shows, but it's people they want, is people that make them laugh, people that help them laugh, all right? It's not some scandal, it's not some system, it's not some shaking hands, or as I like to put it back in the day, I'm not going to suck dicks and lick clits. But in all reality, what it really is I'm realizing that these people before me, they were smart. They were wise. They did what they had to do to the point when they got to the level where they could start doing what they wanted to do. And that's where I'm at now, right? You understand what I'm getting at. So either way, it's been a glorious 2-hour program. Casey was a great, as always. We do appreciate him. It's Casey Johnson, but, you know, he's go by Jud today. That's fine. I think he's enjoying what I'm doing. I'm the cook commander, right? But I'm just taking the power back, okay? I don't mind. People have called me a lot of things. Maybe next week I'll go by Bigot Boy. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really a bigot, though I do have to say I do not appreciate an awful lot of people. But hate is a term that I usually don't use or keep in my life because personally I find it anchors way too much residual negative energy, which I find brings me down into the lower dimensional realm, what would call, I think personally, the animalistic world. And in all reality, the only times that I want to go animal is when I have to go animal. And the only times that I have to go animal is when there is no other way. And that is literally the times when people are the most afraid of me, because there's nothing that scares people more than when I am shouting like a lion. And I mean, I am loud. Or when I'm fierce like a tiger, and I mean I am fierce, because there is no backing down. When my animal side takes over, I am literally someone you do not want to fuck with, because I have faced death 3 times so far. Thus the reason I have 3 piercings. Traditional pirate lore goes like this: every time you face death and survive, you get another piercing. In the most recent time, I very vividly remember what happened. And I said, I'm not done yet. And I'm telling you, that's why I'm on these medicines. And that's why I want to get on the better ones. And why I would work on my system. And I'm going to do that. So tonight, I'm going to go. They call it Wild Card Wednesday. I'm pretty sure you don't have to stick with that. I'm going to guess that I could do a little of this and a little of that. I really need to work my way back into the third wheel system. But right now, I'm dealing with a guy who is literally treating a venue that's great. Like Mike, I think is chill. But this other dude, the other Mike, is not chill. He has no chill, and in all reality, he is spiteful. he doesn't like me because I called him out and the things that I said he knew were real. And I think one step further, I created a little bit of a minor rift because I noticed that it wasn't just him watching my stories, it was also his girl. And I think that she was like, hey, is this real? Is this true? And I think that he still has not let it go, and he won't, because I was literally, after my show that I didn't get no audience for except for the one lady that I did get in there, and that was fun because she had the cool ass pit bull and everything. And then the other show I did, I got one person in, but that's the thing. I've always been able to get people in from the street. I'm a traditional hustler. Anyway, I wanted to say what I'm saying is that I need to get in with the third wheel before Andy comes through. What I was talking about earlier, I really hope Casey comes down with Andy. I really hope that there's a chance that we can get Juggalo Jake to come down. I really hope there's a chance we could convince even Jason McBride to come down. Robbie, if anybody, if I hadn't succeeded up until then, if anybody's going to be able to get me through the door again, the third wheel, to be able to talk to the real Mike, the one that runs the joint, not the one that's standing out front telling me things like, yo, you can't perform. I'm not here to perform, bro. I'm just having conversation with comics that were on the show that I did, that I put them on because I'm doing what is necessary. I put a show on and I put people that I appreciate, but also people I want to network with onto the show as per what you have to do. And I didn't even do time. I just hosted as Heap Straight Hoot again. Once again, what like I'm saying, everybody loves Hoot again. Ain't nobody not like me because I'm Heap Street Hoot again. What I can't what's not to like, right? Nothing. You can't not like me. I'm Heap Street. I'm most confident off on paper, right? But even when I'm down, right, I'm not down, am I? No. I just get play a little footy around the corner and then I feel better, right? Because a little bit of exercise goes a long way. Oh, and that thing gets me down, and the ladies love that about me. That's what the ladies love me. And also the puppies love me. Oh, I love a good pup. I'm a bit fan of doggos. I love them very much. But I will say this, the one thing about Heap Street that you must understand is I cannot stand them Little Ripper Juniors, and I'm scared to death of them Little Ripper Juniors. And I was at one time, Little Ripper bit me ankle. It's, I flip out and I threw the child, and then the paper was like, who again? You can't have him. That was a 5-year-old. You can't be kicking around a 4-year-old at the playgrounds. And I said, that was no 5-year-old. That was a Ripper Junior. I know it. He was possessed. He was possessed by the Ripper himself. I know it. It was not a child. It was Ripper. For those who aren't familiar or got me in the hood, I know what I'm talking about, right? It's that Jack Ripper. He come over to America and he created never the offsprings. Anyway, as I was getting at, it's been 2 hours, going to 2:10. I just want to make sure that I informed everyone. So I'm doing the comedy, but I got to get in with the third wheel. The only downside is that this D'Angelo person, okay, here's the thing about him. He used to work at a real comedy club. And now that's no disrespect to Mike's thing, but Mike's a podcast studio that makes money as a podcast studio. And he's a guy who appreciates and values comedy. Therefore, he lets comics perform at his venue at midnight mics, and or it's been branching out more or less, which I appreciate and value. But ultimately, he makes no money off of comedy. He makes all the money off of being a podcast studio. He and I got mad respect for him because of people like Casey and Robbie who have respect for him, and because of what he told me, I believe that. Meanwhile, he doesn't know it, but he has a snake in his midst, and that's this other guy. And so I literally was just talking to comics that were on my show, hanging out, just chilling, waiting for Briggs specifically. So I was talking with CJ Price, and I was waiting for Steven to get done, because Steven was networking, just hanging out. He told them he'd come back because there was like a 420 thing. That's why he was later to my show, but he wasn't that late. But I don't blame him. There was probably an audience of that. There was definitely an audience of that versus my thing. But it's whatever. I was happy to have him on. I was happy to give him 15 minutes. Either way, the point is that he was doing his thing right here, and me and CJ was just gabbing, talking in general about life and in general. And I'd been drinking, so it was more chatty Cathy, The good times, though, not alcoholic, not fucking blacked out by any means. Anyways, come out from the door. You can't perform here. And I look him straight in the face, and I says, I'm not here to perform. You can't come in. I'm not here to come in. I'm literally just here because these comics were on a show that I just did, and now we're just conversing, hanging out, being normal. No controversy, no problems. Literally bonding, networking, being normal human beings doing human being things. But this person is one of those people that for some reason, and I know why, because he's ex-military. And I know for a fact that I didn't have to be in his platoon. I know he was not what he was one of the bitches. And I know for a fact because the personality attached to one of the bitches, and I know this because I know military, and people don't realize that, but I know military. He was one of the bitches. So when he left the military, because of his training, he has issues. And his main issue is he has to feel powerful. He has to feel strong. He has to have this feeling of importance. His entire existence. Michael D'Angelo, however you say his fucked up last name, I call him Scarface. You know why I call him Scarface? Because he's literally got a scar on his face. That motherfucker, that piece of human existence. I don't want to get too negative because then that's starting shit, and I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson well. People get offended, they get butthurt, no, boo, 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 and then they start doing exactly what he's doing, exerting themselves, and just they have to feel so important. When deep down inside, they know they're not, but they are. That's the secret. See, I have the capability inside to recognize in other human beings. Every single human being on this planet has a sense of importance deep down inside. They just have been lost to the true importance. See, if he was truly a person on the level and the frequencies and the existence of people like me, people with the heart of comedy. See, he doesn't have the heart of comedy. I've watched his material not develop. I've watched his material stagnate. I know this guy for years now. I've been following and witnessing. He has plateaued, just like what we were talking about earlier when I said Elizabeth Stanton plateaued and never got anywhere for a reason. This guy's the same way. He does not have the heart of comedy. He is around this venue because he needs to be somewhere where he has the ability to feel more important because he's incapable of rationalizing and accepting the reality that people like me are there because we love comedy. We are there because we want to improve on our craft. We are there because we want to support comics who are there with the heart of comedy. And that's the reality. He is keeping me out of a venue when I am the energy. People like me are the energy. We are the people that listen to everyone's jokes. We are the people that commentate on the jokes post-mortem after the done, say, hey man, you know what? My favorite thing about this specific da-da-da-da-da is that I have witnessed you improve. I really have. And there are so many occurrences I could go through. And there are comics that I watched when they was not even that known. And then I would go, and I've gone to sold out houses, and they're on the top shelf now, and they remember me. But I've never been a person that has to say the people that I know. I've never, ever been a person to ask for help, and that's one thing that I'm learning now. It's like, well, I put these people on a show, but what I didn't do is ask to be on shows that they put on. I did choose people that I had been a part of their mics, and I recognize and admire that they had shows that they didn't put me on, but I've never been like, hey, I want to be on a show. But there will be a time, and that time will come, that I will be going like, hey, I'm ready to ask you why you haven't put me on your show yet, because you know and I know that I'm one of the funniest people on this planet, and I know for a fact I've gone to enough of your shows now, and I've witnessed your comics dying on stage because they can't handle when people aren't laughing, because the only reason they're on stage is because they want to be laughs. They want to steal laughs. They are not real comics with the heart of comedy. A real comic with the heart of comedy, the people will laugh because they are laughing because it's funny. And it's not just funny because it's funny, it's truly admirable. And they will stumble and fall, and they will make it funnier because when they stumble and fall, they will call attention to the stumbling and falling. There are people who can handle it. There are people who are professional. And then there's the others. And all I'm getting at is this guy, Michael D'Angelo or Delangelo, however you say it, I call him Scarface. It's a lot easier than pronouncing his ambiguously Italian last name. But this fucking guy, he's keeping me away from a venue. He's not letting me have a chance to talk one-on-one with Michael and be like, yo, look, I know you's upset, but you never gave me the courtesy of listening to what I said when I sent you these messages and letting you know, like, because what happened, I'm not going to ever tolerate shenanigans. Shenanigans is appropriately fun. I love and accept and love to be a part of shenanigans. Shenanigans is good. Shenaniganery is fun. Skullfuckery, on the other hand, is not cool by me. And this guy specifically did skullfuckery. And then the venue itself come around and they attempt to gaslight me. And you cannot gaslight a person with an autistic memory, especially for things that they care about with an undying passion. And when I say undying, I mean literally I've come back from the dead. So what I'm getting at specifically right now is that I called them out 100. But the difference is, much like another time, these people seem to get confused. They think that I have a larger following than I do. They think that I have a bigger influential pool than I do. But in ultimate reality, what really gets them at their core is I have the courage and the audacity to call them out. But the difference is, unlike Kenneth Leon, aka Kenny Lyon, I'm not picking fights. I'm not going to the scene to be like, I look at this fucker, he gets all the shows and he's not talented, blah, blah, blah. No, fuck that noise. I do not have the energy to waste. I don't have the time to waste. I just literally, when I see somebody that I'm like, oh, this action and stuff like that, I just ignore them almost entirely, to the point where I'm starting to get in tune with the energies. There are certain things that I can't explain right now because it's literally unexplainable, and there's no mentors, no teachers, no explaining. But what I do recognize is energies. And a lot of it is self-narrative based. So it's like this, like sometimes you got to understand. Like, here's the deal. There's this one person, I'm not going to say a name, but they specifically trigger a lot of this in me. And this is what happens, literally. They will come around and they will try and do the pound with everybody. Okay? Before, after, whatever. Now, what people need to recognize, and I'm not sure, I can't say for a fact because this is some type of unprovable science in a lot of ways, but this type of stuff is energy-based. And there's people that siphon energy because, like I said, they're there. But this case, this specific person, okay, this specific comedian, I don't think, I don't know that they're fully aware. Sometimes I get really scared and paranoid in myself that they are because of certain things. But other times, I recognize more than ever that sometimes there's people that don't realize they're very fractured and they're hiding from realities. And then that's kind of what creates this siphon. So either way, whatever it is, the most recent time, like, okay, so here's one example. The first time that it happened to me was actually outside of Third Wheel. I didn't go in that night. I would just stop by to talk to this thing and do this thing. But this one person that I knew, and we're cool and everything, didn't want to tap with this person, okay? And I didn't recognize this person. They definitely recognized me, which is fine because it's like that. But this other person took my hand and made me dab, and I literally felt fucking drained. And I was like, fuck, dude. And then I politely said to them, I'm like, look, I didn't want to dab that person either. I don't appreciate you grabbing my hand and doing that because I'm very susceptible to energies, and I like literally felt like drained and stuff. And I don't know, just sometimes it's autism, maybe it makes me more aware, whatever. But the point is, that person apologized, said they'd never do it again. And if they ever do it again, I'll be like, hey, what was the deal? But they haven't done it, and that's why this person's chill. But the other person, that was the first exposure where I literally, like, I'll be in a good mindset. And I'm telling you, I will be in, everything is like, oh, I'm in the flow, I'm in the zone, everything is ripe, everything is right. And I feel like almost entirely siphoned. So anyway, the more recent time that this happened, I am sitting at the venue, chilling, and I literally, oh, that's the other thing also. I turned my back on this person and felt clearer. Like what I was explaining to somebody in the past, I was trying to explain, like I've been working with this concept, you turn your back on, and it probably is as true as the old saying, turn your back on someone, but it's not. But like in reality, okay, I use the example of like crazy homeless people sometimes, like, or a person that's literally in their zone being completely wild, right? You can literally practice this. You turn your back and you can literally feel a cut off and a protection force almost. And it's like you feel cleaner. So I was doing that and I was literally feeling it. And I could actually feel this person attempting, they were needy basically. Neediness is a huge core value, like a huge factor of this. And they were literally attempting, and I could feel it. And it was to the point of irritation, to the point of eventually I left. But anyway, this more recent time, it was a similar thing. But I had told myself in the past, because I'm learning and I'm practicing and I'm doing my best to like scientifically or just in general find my flow with this. Because, okay, when I say I'm in the zone of the universe, when I say everything's flowing right, I'm telling you, dude, if I could stay in that atmosphere, if I could stay in that entire environment, I could do no wrong. And people like this literally jack my shit and drop me down, and it's not fucking good, and I do not like it to the point of I literally want to murder them, and I'm not even fucking around. Remember I told you before, when I drop down, I get into the animal frequencies, and I don't want to be there unless I have to be there? When I bring myself there, these people bring me there. Not by force, whether they know they're doing it or not. You understand? So I literally, not even fucking around here, made a conscious decision. For the most part, do your best not to make direct eye contact with this person, because every time you make direct eye contact, you literally can feel a siphoning. All right? And I'm not even kidding. So I'll observe, but like using my peripherals. I'll observe, but using everything else, okay? Point is, what I say before, this specific comic goes around attempting to dab with everybody. And this specific comic literally is walking through or walking back. I can't remember which it was. Everyone else is dabbing because they're either not aware or they don't care. But me, as I said before, all right? Literally, this is how it went. I'm not even fucking around. I'm sitting in a chair. I'm enjoying the shows. I'm like literally doing what I do best, which is be an audience member. And this person's coming by. They put their hands out to dab me, right? And now here's one thing, okay? When you're playful and you're having fun and you throwing out a dab and then someone misses it, you do kind of feel that, right? But oftentimes that's not like a bad thing. It's more of a personal thing, right? And I've known that that's one thing, okay? And that's literally like, that's when I had a joke. Well, not my joke, but like it was just a playful thing that another comic said one time. And he was like, oh, I missed the dab. All good. I got me. And then they did the tap to themselves. And then that like rejuvenates. Because it's like literally, it's like anchored. You want to get the dab out. But then it's like, if it's just in the air, it's like, don't leave me hanging, bro, kind of thing. And you could call out the attention, right? But sometimes if you do that, that might be more destructive in the sense of like, then you're going to find out that that person doesn't like you. Or then you're going to find out that that person didn't want to dab you or whatever, right? But sometimes people just don't feel like being touched. Sometimes people just don't feel like whatever, right? But if you're a type of person that is like needy, especially I'm thinking a lot of this is core divisiveness with neediness, but I also think it's like it's darker. It's way darker. And I'm not even kidding. It's got to be something darker that I don't understand. And sometimes I don't even know that these people understand. But other times I think that it's like these people are the type of people that have a very, very specific face on. But behind the face is immense amounts of self-hatred, self-loathing, darkness. And when you talk about inner shadows, I'm talking about these types of people. I kind of truly believe this in a lot of ways, which is why I'm trying my best to figure it out, are so much into the shadow and so afraid of facing the shadow. And most likely it's because they look at other more talented comics, especially. They don't see their potential in themselves, or they know that they're not a real comic, or they know that they're never going to be. And that's the type of shit that creates this like darkness because of this constant comparisons and this constant just neediness and all this other whatever. So anyway, to keep it short, because now we're hitting another extra half hour than we needed, right? Because nobody really is going to listen. But then again, Future's audience, make sure you click subscribe, click that bell button. Make sure you put a thumbs up if you enjoy it. But also, more importantly, if you think it's all crap, put the thumbs down. Also, make sure you make a comment about how crap it is, because that stuff I value more than anything. I want people to see the negativity against me. I want people to see the comments for me. I want people to understand that I am against Mama Susan putting this ban on thumbs downs, because we all know what you're up to, YouTube. Mama Susan, we all know what you're up to. You need to just stop being so blatantly obvious about what you're up to. You are in the pocket of agendists, and we are all aware that you don't want people to see the amount of dislikes because of the fact that the people that are paying you buku amounts of money, giving you, those are literally the same people that are pumping so much crap. And your forum was created, your entire system, YouTube, was initially created specifically for the people and the public to have their free space. And you know what the ultimate reality is? If you are so mentally fracturable and so divisively needing a thumbs up value over a thumbs down, to the point where if you get caught up in some scandal or whatever nonsense and trolls just come in mass, or bots, because someone's smart enough to just hire a bunch of bots and literally hire all the bots programmed to do dislike, whatever, I don't care. The point is, if you're so attached to the euphoria that you get, but we're all aware it's not just the euphoria. It's more about the sales pitch, because these videos specifically, you don't want people witnessing that the public does not like the trailer. The public does not appreciate blah, blah, blah. To the point where they'll turn off the comments. The stuff is all obvious. Those who are aware. Anyway, circling back around. So I'm sitting in the venue, doing what I do best. Audience member, just chilling, enjoying the shows, all that good shit. This specific person's going through the audience, dabbing on the people, and comes to me to do it. And at first, because here's how we work, all right? I am a social being. I am a caring being. I am an empathetic person. Ultimately, I'm not doing this to be like I'm better than other people. No, I'm saying that I am, for the most part, because of how broken I am. One of the main reasons I want to do comedy is to create a world. Ideally, I want to create the world that I didn't get the privilege to grow up in. I'm not on board with this dictatorship that's going down. I think that it should be okay to be a total terrible person. Just sort of like, I don't think that it's cool to go around murdering people, unless it's cool for me then to murder the person that's going around murdering people, because then that's cool, because like I condone that concept because it's like self-regulation, but then also humans are corruptible, so there's a whole lot of chaos and like category. So I just do my best to just like stay away from all of that, you know, like. But what I'm getting at is, I almost did it, but then in reality, I held back because I reminded myself, I was like, no, because I was in the right mood set. And I was going to be performing. So all of it was lined up for me. So I didn't do it. And immediately, and I kept straightforward too. Like I was just like this. The person did this, and then I was like about to, and then I was like, no, wait, this is that person, remember? And I was like, so I kept it down. I just didn't do it. Here's what the fucker did. The fucker touched me, and I felt the shit take out of my body. And here's my question, okay, and I'm not 100% on this, but if it's a consideration of my own energies, if it's consideration of my own aura, my own in general, this person literally broke through, touched me without consent. And now, if you're not familiar, especially autistic people, we have our own special universe, in our own special bubble, and our own special thing, to the point where the ones that cannot communicate flip out because they do not like to be touched. And that is part of the thing that affects me. And when I don't like to be touched, I don't want to be touched, kind of a thing. But the thing is, in order for me to confront this person, it would require me to confront this person, which would require me to put myself at risk. And until I'm able to fully create some type of protective shield, that whether or not it's all in the mind, I don't know yet. But I need to do that because I cannot be brought down. The point is, I literally felt bad energy. I felt very negative energy. I felt very sick energy. I felt very, very siphoned. I do not. Now, this person, as a comic, personally, I've never heard them actually tell a joke. Personally, I think that they're there for the wrong reasons. Personally, I think that they need to be sitting in the audience until they learn to write a joke and tell a joke, all this stuff. Personally, I have a lot of opinions on this character of this person in general, But ultimately, it's more the darkness behind them that I am very susceptible. But I am telling you, with 100 of the tea, I did not dab the person, and they wanted me to, and they wanted it so badly that when they didn't get what they wanted, then he fucking touched me, and he fucking touched me, and I'll tell you why he fucking touched me, because he wanted to, and I really mean this shit, and I don't know how to explain it better to you, siphon my fucking essence, siphon my fucking energy, siphon from me the shit. And I do believe that, whether or not they know, but I do know it's paranoid, but it's also like too real. Like, I really don't like it. So the next time, if that fucker touches me and I feel the siphon, I'm going to fucking punch him. And when he reacts, I'm going to say, I spazzed because you touched me. I didn't want to be touched. And that's going to be a fair explanation. And they could be upset, but in all reality, you shouldn't fucking touch people because they didn't dab you. Because you know what? He literally touching me, literally, is equivalent to rape. I did not consent to that touch. And the difference is that there are certain touches that are my autistic touches where it's like, I just don't want to be touched. I don't like being touched. It makes me uncomfortable. That is the times often when a guy will like tap my head or pet my head. Usually it's a guy that actually like cares. Like there is the, oh, how you doing, buddy? Like there's this type of, hey, what's up, buddy? Oh, yeah, look, it's him, huh? You know? And if it's not a bully atmosphere, which I know the difference, if it's really people that, then I have learned to understand that my autistic side that doesn't like being touched is within control. This is different. This is unconsensual, unwanted, and this is literally the person touching me was not touching me to give me love, was not touching me to give me energy. They touched me to take, to steal, to siphon. They wanted from me. And they stole from me. All right? This is the stuff that I'm slowly but surely becoming more and more aware of. And the more powerful and more aware I become, the more I'm capable of finding the right people. And I tell you, it's almost like a fucking, it's like a really cool thing at this point. In a lot of ways, I'm starting to understand there is literally, it's really amazing stuff. Because you get to a point where like surface level conversations, they don't annoy me. They just are, I'm aware. To the point where if I want, I can literally insert, but I know how to insert to make myself higher status, to make myself better. Like, and I work to flow with my natural energy because I believe in the universal concept, right? But I'm also learning that pandering is okay when you're doing it with the right intentions, ultimately, which is to build the rapport, which is necessary. So sometimes you got to turn it on, is what I'm getting at, and all that stuff. Meanwhile, there are people like this guy that the next time that he tries to take from me, I'm going to take it back by giving him a jab. And if he gets just, what the fuck, dude? I'm going to be like, that's why you don't touch people without consent. And maybe people will be like, oh, what the fuck, you know, kind of shit, right? But other people might not even notice. But ultimately, I'm going to just be like this. A, I'm autistic. B, I didn't want to be touched. C, you shouldn't fucking touch somebody because they didn't dab you. D, I don't fucking want to be touched, period, by a person that I want to be touched by, period. I don't like the way that I feel when this person touches me, period. That's all there is to it. And I shouldn't have to. I did not consent to being touched because this person went out to dab me and I didn't dab them back. And that is a signal that I didn't want to be touched by them and I didn't want to touch them. And the reason why is because I can't explain this, but I can explain it the best I have. The way that it literally makes me feel is as if it drains from me essence and, more importantly, drags me down. And I don't want that because I believe, to some extent, it's by design with an ultimate perspective and really, really bad mojo, dirty juju, gross, nasty, disgusting shit that is divisive around people, specifically who are very dark behind the eyes. All right, then. That's been a half hour longer than it needed to be. But I'm going to the comedy venues. This person will be around. I will keep you all updated on that stuff. And otherwise, like, I'm getting a lot better at comedy. I know for a fact, because Tommy Boy, for example, was like, you're getting better. Good. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. And I don't give a fuck what Kenny Lyons says. Kenny Lyons like, why do you want to impress Accidental Chaos to me? Why are you so butthurt? Why are you so agendist? Like, Kenny Lyon is great, but he's also not. Kenny Lyon is upset with me right now. Why is he upset with me? Because I didn't do what he wanted me to. That's a legit example of why I told him that he needs to work on himself more. He has an issue. It's very simple. It's often misdiagnosed as severe depression. Now, he might also have severe depression, but what he also has is a form of narcissism. And the easiest way to put this is poor me syndrome. Poor me, poor me, poor me, poor me. Wham, wham, wham. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Why did this person only been around this year so big and able to act like they're so big? Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. When in reality, what you need to do is take those chips off your shoulder and throw them into the river and watch them drown. Kenny Lyon, if he was wise, if he was keen, if he was smart, he would understand and listen to the wisdom coming out of my mouth and realize that I'm telling him things like a big brother would. I'm not telling him shit because I want to put him down. I'm doing my best to help him lift up. I want him to understand that he is walking the lines that I already walked that destroyed my mind to the point where I'm dealing with it now, and I'm realizing piece by piece there are so many times that I did not do what I should have done. I went against the contrary programming, and there was a lot of times in my life where I chose to be filled with this thing where I was just like, had immense amounts of disdain. And I am way better now because I realized, A, that doesn't have to be my identity. B, that is not my identity. And C, it was anchoring and dragging me down and preventing me from achieving. Because in all reality, there is one truth and one ultimate truth. Other than it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's show up. Show out. Whatever. The point is, money talks, true. But more importantly, like, produce things. Do things. And more importantly, do them better. And yes, it's true. I gripe and I moan, but I do not complain. I do not despair, and I do not discredit all my friends, including Ty Rivera, who was mentioned by Casey earlier. Amazing. Unbothered, the podcast. Make sure you check it out. Unbothered. Great podcast. Maybe I'll even have him on one day. It'd be really cool to have Ty join us. But the point is this. Ty knows, and Ty does, a shit ton of editing. That's why he would like to release consistent, but much similar to my own circumstances. And the same thing applies to almost every single person I know that is remotely successful, to the people I know that are incredibly successful. And what I know is that they themselves as well did not have help. And that's the one thing other than channeling my inner Pete, which has helped me so immensely. I'm talking about the comedian known as Peter Nesh, who is a whole other person I would love to have on this as well, because the thing about Peter Nesh that y'all should understand is he's a guy with some very, very funny things, especially from childhood, some very interesting things. Coincidentally, he's also a person who has literally heard other comedians telling stories that were literally almost beat for beat his actual life story, which led him to believe, and I don't think that it doesn't make sense to me, to believe that they were literally ripping the shit from him because they thought it was so funny that they're so great. And in all reality, here's how that works. You didn't live a funny life, or the things that you lived was plain and simple and not good enough for you, or you felt not good enough for anyone else, or you weren't capable of taking a boring-ass story and making it entertaining. So therefore, you take someone else's life essence, someone else's story, and literally siphon them. And it's dangerous, and that's why Peter Nesh has the heart of comedy, and whoever it is and whatever it is and the comics that have done it to him do not. And yes, I think it should be understood that not everyone who doesn't have the heart of comedy doesn't have potential. Everyone has potential to join our side. All right? Everyone has potential to have the heart of comedy with them as well. Everyone has the potential to literally come into our fold. The only thing it requires is two things. Number one, face yourself. Be yourself. And number two, respect the art, respect the grind, respect the time. And that leads back around one more time to what I'm getting at. Editing, all that stuff, like consistency. Like, I love Casey. But the thing is, I was very pleased when, I think it was this time before this one or the one before that, when he mentioned that we should be more consistent. And today, he mentioned that he would like to have us have a following. So he's starting to come around. He's enjoying this. And I think to the point where he's coming around to the concept that if we are consistent, if we do have a schedule, and yeah, it's not the easiest thing, and sometimes we don't want to do it, but the reality is, if we are doing consistency, we will garner the following, and the more consistency we have, like, I'm going to figure out piece by piece what I need to do it. Ultimately, I need to have the general practitioner give me permission to get the pills that I need to allow me to focus on what I need to do, which mostly is tedious and things that I don't want to do. Like, period. I just don't want to do them. Period. Like, it's not like things like I have to go to work to pay my bills. Anytime I'm getting paid, no problem. It's things like submitting tapes. Tedious. I don't mind going to auditions. I love going to auditions, but courtesy of COVID, most now you have to submit. But at the same time, people like Brooke, man, I got so much respect for Brooke. Brooke is submitting 2, 3, 4 times a week, a day. Brooke is piece by piece succeeding. That's why people like Erin Darling, I think her name is actually Trevolis, something like that. Not important. What's important, she goes by Erin Darling, and 4 H's, Darling. And the thing about Erin is she's writing and submitting, editing her writing to submit. She's got 2 active podcasts now, one of which is devised from a successful TikTok. She literally was traveling to Europe. She went to London and she went to France because of networking and podcast stuff. She, She went through a very hard breakup, but at the same time was able to channel that into art and put it into her Hot Pizza Ass podcast, which I love because you know me, wordplay gets me every time. It's literally called Hot Pizza Ass, and it's a sense of like body empowerment, but also it rhymes like hot piece of ass. It's just so beautiful, and it's a wonderful podcast for female empowerment, but also body empowerment, but also it's a wonderful podcast for people that are artists or people that are dealing with things, because like, for example, her most recent one was with a woman, and it's literally all about things like helping you learn how to sleep. Not like learn how to sleep, but like procedures and things like that. And I love what this woman said. She said what she does is a 5-minute journaling session, which, if y'all know about me, one thing you should know is I'm not consistent with it, but there's one thing I'm supposed to be doing every day, which is literally 2-page journal log, because that will help me get rid of the block and also help me write more. But once again, circle it right back around. I cannot seem to muster up the ability to do any of these things. And the main reason, bringing it around big time, is that I don't have a girl right now. If I had a girl in my life, everything I would be doing to impress her, everything I would be doing was to make sure that she was constantly and consistently content and happy with everything. But more importantly, that girl was my world, in the sense of like, I'm achieving greatness so that I can help her achieve greatness, so that we achieve greatness together. And I'm not looking for anything more, anything less. I've been used for my body. I already know I'm an amazing lover. I already know that I'm very gifted as far as the anatomically speaking. And I like to joke kind of half-assly, but it might be because I'm retarded, my autism, my Asperger symptoms, like whatever technically classification, but also just in general. I was born with great genetics, in the sense that, like, you know, I mean, I don't promote it anymore because my dad got kind of jealous, my blood dad, but like, in all reality, I have a 7-inch and it's 7.5 on mushrooms, and people always like, what the hell is he talking about? It's like, I'm pretty sure there's something about mushrooms that increases my blood flow to the point where I literally get an extra 1/2 inch somehow. I'm not even kidding around. Like, when I'm on the right amount, like, it's, you can't be so much that I'm bloated. It's like literally like a gram, 0.5 of mushrooms. I can literally suck my own D. No jokes. Not fully. I wish just the tip, but still, that's an achievement most men wish they could do. And I'm not really that flexible. Anybody that knows me, I need to stretch more. So one last thing I'll say. The New Year's rolling around. Might have some more before then, but here are the things that I'm going to be doing within like immediately. Three main things, but really there's a couple things in general. Okay, I am going to finally, and just need to do this. I'm going to actually put the actual ridiculous, like, once again, that's what I'm saying. It's not easy to do the things that those who have achieved, those who are achieving, and those like me. But I seek and I do this stuff specifically so that people can witness, and more importantly, that's why I call you all the Futures audience. That's why I love the Futures audience. That's why there's nothing but 100% love and admiration for all of you, because most likely you are watching these now, seeing who I am in the future. You understand? In the future, what I become. And the only way that happens is by these things. Procedurally speaking, it makes perfect sense. It's like an origin story for every superhero. It's like everything in general. Wish I could just origin story that shit, like, boom. But then again, that's the thing about montages. So what I'm getting at is, I'm actually gonna have my food like grouped out so that I can actually have a consistent diet. And they just added this thing to my scale app. So I have a digital scale that can read a lot more than you can set up goals and stuff. It's kind of cool. But they just added a diet. So I'm going to start working the diet part in. I'm going to literally be consuming enough calories, but I'm going to not just be consuming calories. I'm going to be working out to the point where I'm starving, even though I don't like that, because I literally, when I really, really work out, I build muscle quick and I tone out and I look sexy. And like, part of me doesn't like it because the more attractive my body gets, I draw a lot of attention, but it's kind of like I don't know if it's a broken thing or if it's a natural thing, but I really just want to be loved for my mind mostly. I really want to just be loved for my heart, my soul, my essence. I don't want to be idolized. Like, that's the thing that makes me so great. And I know that I'm supposed to be humble, but it's quite literally one of the things that makes me so great is that I don't want to be idolized. I'm not seeking idolatry. I don't want to be idolized. What I want is to be an inspiration. What I want or want is also, see, I'm working on it. What I would like to have is people inspired by my greatness and the great things I've achieved. What I would like is for people to see my struggles and live vicariously in the sense of, like, maybe they have a hard time, but what I would like to have is ways and networks set up in the futures that's like where people can achieve greatness through following my deeds, by doing as I did. I'm not about telling and not doing. I'm not about instruction. I'm about showing and explaining, and just, this is what it is. And so the main thing right now, what I'm getting at is that I need to do this. I really do. And, like, especially stretching. Like, the one thing I've failed on for, God, going on 20 years, I swear. I don't like to talk about time in that way, but, like, really, quite literally, I am so tight. I don't mean that in the good ways. I mean, like, musculars, joints and everything. And then when I got clocked, like, I literally got killed by a car, came back to life. The third one, my arm got busted up. So I literally, I mean, what's amazing about me in general, now this is something I love, certain things I like to brag about. Like, there are certain things about me that you will never have. 1, my body, it's impossible. 2, my mind, it's impossible. 3, my genetics, it's impossible. Unless you literally somehow manage to have my blood dad and my blood mom make another child. In which case, once again, it couldn't possibly be you. Unless, for some weird, obscure future reason, you actually somehow are my literal brother. Not half, not half. Literal sister, not half. Point is, I have 2 half sisters, one older, one younger. That's all I'm getting at. My dad, look, I'm as fertile as he is. I mean, my sister's got one. My older half sister's got a kid. Point is, I'm definitely fertile. Like, in all reality, I'm not just a good lover. I'm actually a person that has a very, 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 very high libido. Like, that is definitely a fact. But I can control myself because I also am so caught up in so many. Like, literally, the other day, I did Grand Point 5, and I was experiencing the essence of the mushrooms until I came to around. My mind destroyed a lot of it, not in a bad way, but in a way that I started conceptualizing. I realized that I'm never fully relaxed in a lot of ways. Which, once again, we'll bring it back around. But stretching and yoga and exercise, but more importantly, strength. More importantly, actual, like, I need to tear my muscles up to the point of I don't like this anymore. I don't. I can't stand it. You understand? No pain, no gain. No pain, no gains. And I'm not gonna cheat like the Paul brothers. Like, fucking what? Look, I'm on. I don't necessarily care much for UFC, and I don't much care for Dana White. And I think it's great that he could buy an island, but also at the same time, the initial COVID times, the way he treated his employees, if you will, I just, But realistically, also, I look at Dana White the same way I look at McMahon, and it's like I respect and admire any men that do what they do, because just short of being a pedophile or I don't know, like some crazy type of like just murderous or adultery, I even can sometimes get around, because it's more of like, look, I don't necessarily believe in your God. In fact, I would go one step further and say I don't believe in false gods in general. And that's not like discredit to other gods or gods in general. It's like trying to emphasize that, like, hey, look, you got married and that was your pact to your God and that was your decision. And I'm not saying that it's not the same God as mine. I'm conceptually just saying that it shows a testament to your character that you chose to be an adulterer. And in this sense, I mean the literal sense. I'm talking about people that cheat that are married. Not people that are engaged, not people that are dating, because I don't think it's cheating if you're dating, and I don't think it's cheating if you're engaged. But I do believe if you're the type of person that decides to do that type of ritual where you get married and then you go and you cheat around on somebody, that is what I consider adultery, and that is a character flaw that I personally will never accept and never respect. And that's just me. But you know what's cool? Is that's the things I'm talking about. When people start becoming who they want to be, becoming what they are, but at the same time, I'm not afraid to change. So let's say that I get married to a woman that I am just head over heels. I literally found that girl that I've been preaching and talking about. And I'm achieving so many great things because I'm getting everything that I literally all my life knew the one thing missing, and I finally have it. To the point where we're literally like, we're married. We're married, and we are married because her God deemed it necessary, or her family deemed it necessary. I'm personally never going to choose to get married to a woman because of my family. I personally am never going to choose to get married to a woman because of whether or not, I'm keeping this ambiguous by design, but I'm just, because of a contract with a God or a Lord or a Savior or Krishna. I don't care the religion. The point is, I personally do not condone the concept of two people getting married because I think it's a scam. I think it was literally something that didn't exist when my ancestors were at their best. I believe when my ancestors were at their best, there was no such thing as marriage. There was literally just the best of the best, genetics of genetics, top upon top, strongest surviving, smartest surviving, literally just we only go and take what we need and bring it back home because we are animals, but we are also civilized animals. But our civility is more druidic. Our civility is more natural. Our civility is more magical. Our civility is more celestial. These type of things. But the point is, I believe that there has been a serious corruption, and I don't think that it's cool. But that being said, this will be the last thing I'm going to say because I definitely am hitting 3 hours, and that's ridiculous. I mean, first hour is Casey, that's cool. But literally, I've done a full hour now, just me, and But I do appreciate you, featured audience, and I do hope that you've appreciated this. And I do hope you comment. Like, let me know the things that I say that you appreciate, things you don't agree with. Let me know what you want me to cover. And I guarantee you, I've been told in the past, and I'm starting to understand more and more, Like, I'm always like, I don't know if I know what to talk about. But then it turns out that I can literally just keep talking and it works. Whether the audio quality is good enough, whether the visual quality is good enough, whether anything's good enough, I will never know. And at the point that I'm successful and everything's great and all the achievements have occurred and even more ahead of that, all of this will just dust in the wind, as they say. Dust in the wind for you to collect, and then use that dust to form clay, and use that clay to build a brick, and use that brick to build your house, and that house is the house that you build upon that you can live in, whatever. All right, so I'm gonna finish by saying this: that I, in this moment, do not condone adultery. And matter of fact, on top of not condoning adultery, I do not respect adulterers. And I'm not talking about cheating on a fiance, because I don't consider that cheating. I'm not talking about cheating on a boyfriend, because I don't consider that cheating. I'm talking about when you choose to get married, or whatever term it is in your religion, whatever term it is in general, when you choose to make a contract deal, and I'm not talking about the government here. I really don't give a shit. As a matter of fact, that's the corruption I'm talking about, is society and government and every type of Nope, almost misused the term again. Skullfuckery. The appropriate term is skullfuckery. The skullfuckery divisively created, the indoctrination processes, all that. But this is what I'm saying. In the future, if I've achieved such a magical thing, but it's not specific to what I dream of in my concept of the idea of meeting a mutual female or multiple mutual females who appreciate and value my mind, but obviously they do value this, and they do value my cooking, and there's a lot of reasons, but technically the cooking is definitely this too, right? But it's also technique. Like, technically the loving is, but it's this, but it's also, in all reality, they just know what I am. They know where I'm going. They don't know, but they want to be more in it. All right. Followers, fellowship. Like Jesus had Maid Marian, had Mary, Gomorrah. I mean, just a lot of beautiful. I'm just presuming they were beautiful. I don't even know if Jesus. The point is, I am not saying that I am holy. I'm not saying that I'm divine. I'm not saying anything other than what I conceptualize in this moment idealistically. Starts with 1, becomes 2. I don't know that I can handle much more than 3 at this time, but ultimately in my head, in the far future, I can handle having 5, because not all 5 of them are with me for my body. Not all 5 of them are with me for my money. Not all 5 of them are with me for all the same reasons. Truthfully, maybe there's a chance that they have squabbles amongst themselves fighting over my attention or my time. Ultimately, though, I'm mature enough, I'm understanding enough, I'm wise enough, and I'm powerful enough to understand a lot of things. Like, for example, let's say there's one that's not with me for my body. I'm okay with that one being asexual. I'm okay with that one not being with me for my body, but being with other males for their body, because I do not need them for their body. You understand? I'll be considered, and always have been, ahead of my game, ahead of the times. But also, if you really understand what I'm saying, I'm actually also back here. I'm a man of the past, and a man of the present, and a man in the future. I am everything. I am nothing. I am all things. That's a fun way to put things, right? But the point is this, and I end it with this. I don't know my future, period. I have a strong belief that certain dreams I've had were not just dreams, but premonitions, because they were so real and a lot of times so basic that there is no way they were just a dream, but in fact, a premonition. I'm telling you, I haven't talked about this much, but I will say this, and then I'll finish like I said I would. I know. Look. Actually, no. You know what? One more time, check out Unbothered the podcast, Ty Rivera, because I'm going to do what he says. Another topic for another time. I'm going to finish with this. I don't know what'll happen, but there is a chance that I will only get this one, and she will be a person that needs to be married to me in order for it to continue, and we will get married, and at some point she will make, I'm going to say mistake, but that's like not real. She will just cheat on me, which therefore would make her an adulterer. And I would have to then face myself here and now. Might even go back and watch this video to see myself foretelling it and laugh, enjoy it, and be sad together at the same time. I'm just simply saying that I'm not anchored into my concepts of not respecting adulterers, in the sense that if I chose to marry a person and make that bond that's so valid with this person to the point of like, that's just what it is, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. If we decided to have other people in our lives, then we would be mandatorily, by my morality, this is something that will not change, separate. Because I do not believe when you make this type of contract that it's okay to be with anyone else. That's the reason that I don't believe in it. I'm polyamorous by all means, but I'm capable of monogamy if it's necessary. I'm just saying that the love goes so deep and the forgiveness so strong that I don't think there's always going to be that chance. But at the same time, I'm saying that I am in this moment capable of accepting and moving forward and doing what's necessary, like everything. Like I said before, in my dream, like in my concept at least, or my reality, when I have 5 different girls, that type of situation, not all of them for my body, I am capable of understanding in the same sense, right? But also at the same time, this is the type of stuff that, as my blood dad would say, you're wasting your time on a lot of stuff that hasn't happened. You're wasting your energy on a lot of stuff that hasn't happened. How about you keep it simple, stupid, or whatever the term you want to use? You know, the main thing is, I am done with this. 3 hours. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Don't forget, click subscribe, click the bell button, click the thumbs up, click the thumbs down, click the comments, and leave a comment. Do what you got to do. I'm not asking you to share, but you know what? Maybe you want to share. I mean, maybe I name dropped you and you somehow found out. Like I say, my following is not really. Point is, thank you, everyone. I really love you, and I really mean this, and I will never, ever change it, because this is who I am. This is the honest to God reality, and this is no doubt in my mind. I love, and I mean this with straight eye contact, even though it makes me uncomfortable. I know that you can see this eye contact, and to me, it's only feeling a little weird because it's me making it with myself, but also it's like when you look yourself in the mirror, validating yourself, and I do this now and again, especially under the influence of psilocybin. But I'm just saying this, and I mean this. It's not me talking to myself, is what I'm getting at. It's to you, Future's audience, everyone that's watching. I mean this. I really mean this. I'm going to put my headset so I can know that you can hear it. All right. Wow. Okay. I wonder how loud it's going to be. I always do my best to review, but I no lies, I scrub through too. But here's the deal. And I mean this. 100% mean this. Like Popeye, I am what I am, and that's what I am. And I mean this. Each and every one of you, including your pets that watch alongside, including your children that don't conceptualize but also absorb, every single person, every single entity, maybe your plants, just in general, all of the Future's audience. I love you. I value you. I appreciate you. And I mean this. I hope in some way this video, this live, has helped you in your journey, in your process to becoming what you always were and always will be. Thank you, and I look forward to the next time. And I hope to achieve in the new year everything that I achieved this year in my mind. No, but that's been more than enough from me. Once again, you can find me at fps.comedy on Instagram, or future, FUTURE _player, PLAYER _JDK on Instagram as well. You can follow our actual Sooner Than Later Productions, or as I like to joke around, but I've been calling it SNL Production, mainly because sooner than later, sooner in later. So you can also follow S.N.L Production at Instagram as well. You're welcome to chase me down somehow on Facebook, though I'm not going to give out my Facebook information because it's constantly changing because names don't matter to me. But you can also go to our website, one of the websites. There's two websites technically, but one of them is subject to change. But the main website you can go to is Future, Futre, Player, Player, Society, Society, futureplayersociety.com. That website will give you most of the information also. It will also have a segment, if you notice, that has YouTube information, so you can actually quite literally check in whenever you want, and I'll do my best to really work with the system. It's also the best way if you have any reason or any need or any want or any desire, you are capable of hiring. I have all my characters are for hire. All my characters are available. I am probably pretty cheap because I don't know my own value at this point, other than priceless, because there's only one me. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good afternoon. I love you all. I mean that. I truly do. I value you, love you, and I mean it. I truly mean it. What are you doing? Since I went in full mode, we got 2 more people trying to give us Borno and stuff. See, this is the stuff if I was making a video, this would be the edit with the crawl down, but, you know, there's